goes Nixon to the wall. He caught it. Unbelievable.
Kiss this one goodbye. It's a slam. And down the stretch he comes. Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia for the first of a three-game series between the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm Pete Van Weeren, joined tonight by Don Sutton. And if you're a baseball fan, I'm sure you know what's going on here this weekend. All you have to do is look at the standings. In the National League West, Atlanta's magic number now down to 8, a 2.5-game lead over San Francisco. Over in the East, the Phillies' magic number is down to 5. They have a 6-game lead on the Montreal Expos. But Don, while the media is hyping this series as a possible playoff preview, and indeed it is, neither one of these teams can really start thinking about the playoffs quite yet.
No doubt about that. While the Phillies are going against the Braves, Expos are playing the Mets. That's a little bit easier road for them. And the Giants have San Diego and actually the Colorado Rockies, so theirs is a little less hard than the Braves, too. So the Braves need to forget about the playoffs. They need to go against the Phillies. And if you check the players, and I think that's the real key, they're not thinking playoff. They're thinking that what the Braves have thought all along. If you win this ball game, it really doesn't matter what anybody else does.
The Phillies, one of the best hitting teams in all of baseball. The Braves have one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. Should be a great matchup all weekend. We'll be back with the starting lineups and all the action from the vet right after this.
'93 Atlanta Braves baseball on TBS is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light. Head for the mountains of Bush. By Delta Airlines, the official airline of the Atlanta Braves. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. And by Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and me. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Beer.
Credit line has nothing to do with your value as a person, okay? Sure, Gold MasterCard has a credit line of at least $5,000, but that doesn't make you a better person. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, if knowing that no gold card is more accepted on the planet lets you relax and just have fun, then yeah, I suppose it could have some effect. And you can use your Gold MasterCard at cash machines all over the world, so you can get money in drachmas or lire or seashells, so you can tip generously. Which any waiter will tell you is the true measure of how good a person you are. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a gold card. It's smart money.
He's in Manhattan on Wednesday, Frankfurt on Thursday, Paris, Rome, and Vienna after that. He believes it's better to do business across a table than over a fax machine. This year, he'll fly more than 100,000 miles with us because he knows nobody understands him better than we do. At Delta, when we say we love to fly and it shows, this is where it shows.
TBS is calling all Curlies.
What is it? What do we have to do?
It's simple. Videotape your best Curly impression and send it to TBS Calling All Curlies, 1050 Techwood Drive, Atlanta, 30318. Entries must be received by October 12th. Sorry, we can't return your tape. And kids, get your parents' help. The top Curlies will air on TBS during our Curly Marathon, October 22nd. So get in touch with your inner stooge. Just don't hurt yourself. Yes, TBS is calling all Curlies. Enter today.
Welcome back to Bet in Philadelphia. A much look forward to three-game series, probably more by the folks covering it than by the players playing in it. Time for us to take a look at our Budweiser starting lineup for the Braves. 98 and 55. Here's the starting lineup. Otis Nixon will lead it off. He'll be followed by Jeff Blauser, then Ron Gann in the third spot. It's Fred McGriff at first base, batting cleanup, followed by David Justice and Terry Pendleton. The final three, Damon Berryhill, Mark Lemke, and Tom Glavine. Phils have taken the field. Defensively, they will line up like this. In Cavilla in left, Dykstra in center. Chamberlain gets to start in right. Hollins, Stocker, Duncan, and Kruk make up the infield. Darren Dalton behind the plate, and former Brave Tommy Green on the mound. As you can see, he is putting himself together a good year. The league only hitting .234 against Tommy Green. We'll show you the rest of his numbers. Pretty good control. 51 base on balls, a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He has been especially tough when pitching at home right here in the vet. A perfect 9-0 and an earned run average better than what he has been all year long. Umpiring crew for game 1 of the series. Gary Darling will be ringing up the balls and strikes. Charlie Williams down at first. Frank Pulley down at second. And I think he has become a part of our traveling group. Joe West will be over at third. Air of excitement here. As I said, the players, when you talk to them, they're still not looking too far ahead. But if you own a camera or a notepad, you're pretty much welcome to this ballpark. That's the way it looked prior to the game. It's a cool evening here in Philadelphia. Fall of the year has definitely made it to Pennsylvania. We're about set to get underway. And here to kick it off for you once again, Pete Van Wieren.
Okay, thank you, Don, and good evening once again, everyone. They are expecting a sold-out ballpark tonight or close to it. And there's just a little bit of the media that's here covering this series, almost as many as we would have for a postseason series here in Philadelphia this weekend for this Braves-Phillies 3-game series. And as Don mentioned, it's a little bit tougher right now in the Braves than it is in the San Francisco Giants in this race. The Braves have these 3 with the Phillies, then home for 3 against Houston, who always have a tough starting pitcher go out there night after night. And the Giants, as Don mentioned, playing at home against San Diego and then Colorado over the next 6-game stretch, and you really don't expect them to lose many of those games. So Atlanta has to take care of business here in Philadelphia this weekend. It'll be Otis Nixon, Jeff Blauser, and Ron Gant due up here in the top half of the first inning against Tommy Green. First time the Braves have faced Tommy Green since 1991. He was out with an injury most of last year, and he hasn't pitched against Atlanta at all this year.
7 complete games. He has logged the innings when he has been well. He's actually pitched very well for the Phillies since coming over here.
And here is Otis Nixon to lead things off for Atlanta. Nixon batting .261, a homer, 22 RBIs. He was 2 for 12 in the Montreal series. And the first pitch of the night on the way from Tommy Green. It's upstairs, ball 1. Otis 1 for 10 in his career against Green. And the infield shows its usual defensive alignment against Nixon, guarding against the bunt. The first 2 have missed. 2-0 now. The count on Otis Nixon. Right down the middle for a called strike. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and it missed just inside. The count goes to 3-1 now on Nixon. I don't know about you, Don, but I got sort of a sense as you look at Tom Glavine walking in from the bullpen as he's completed his warm-ups that the Philadelphia people are a little more hyped up about this series than the Braves people are. Probably because the Phillies are trying to do their own worst to first miracle as the Braves did in '91, while the Braves, of course, have experienced this the last 3 years.
Well, I think that was very evident with some of the people that we haven't seen for a while bumping in just to say hello to us. And I think just the start of the ballgame, you and I know Tommy Green. We knew him when he was with the Braves. Pretty emotional type guy. And I think you could see it right there, and you could just sense watching the 2 ball clubs. I know the Phillies have a unique cast of characters over there, but I do think that if you were to measure the emotional level, it's a little stronger over in that dugout.
Now Jeff Blauser batting .307, 15 homers, 67 runs driven in. Nixon aboard with the leadoff walk. And there's a strike in the inside corner, 0-1. Darren Daulton very good at throwing out potential base stealers. He's gunned down 34% of them this year. And Otis is a potential base stealer, 42 swipes and 54 tries.
Normally when you watch his Philly staff, other than Mulholland, who has probably one of the best pickoff moves in all of baseball, not a lot of throwing over there. But they unload in a hurry, and they try to give Daulton all the help that they can by varying their time to the plate.
There is a throw to first and a fairly close play. Blauser facing Tommy Green for the first time 2 years ago when Tommy Green was making his last appearance against the Braves. Jeff Blauser was a utility player, wasn't in the starting lineup.
Numbers like you just saw on the screen there will stop that utility stuff, though.
There goes Otis. Had a good jump. The throw by Dalton is off the glove. And Nixon thinking about going to third, but will hold on at second with his 43rd stolen base of the year.
At the start of a ball game, momentum and emotion can flip back and forth between the dugouts. But getting a good jump like this, getting a guy like Nixon in scoring position, he had to throw beaten anyway. And if you could eventually get him around, that is such a plus, especially when you're on the road.
We count 0-2 now on Blauser. 43rd stolen base for Otis Nixon this year. Blauser taking a shot to the right side, trying to move that runner over. He's a strikeout victim. One gone. That'll bring up Ron Gant.
Good sliders, perfect spot. The spin so close to that of his fastball. See, it didn't move but maybe 3 or 4 inches. There, right there, proves a point. You don't have to throw a 3-foot curveball or a 99-mile-an-hour slider. If you can spot it and get a little bit of an angle, put it in a good spot, you get outs with it.
Gant 278, 35 homers, and tied with David Justice for the RBI lead in the National League with 113. Darren Dalton sneaks into the top 5 now with 103 for the Phillies. Gant takes a strike on 1. Ron 3 for 9 off Green in his career with 1 home run. It's funny, almost every town the Braves have gone to recently, when talk comes up about an MVP, it seems that the media in each town has a different idea of who on the Braves should be considered. Here in Philadelphia, Gant getting a lot of support. Where we just came from in Montreal, most of the media folks up there thought Fred McGriff has been the Braves MVP. You've got some towns that say David Justice should be thought of as the MVP. And if you ask Ron Gant or Fred McGriff or David Justice, they'll tell you don't forget about the year Blauser's had.
That's the attitude you like, and that's the attitude you hear on a winning club, too.
A little bit inside 2-1. Barry Bonds, of course, still a strong candidate. Matt Williams of the Giants moving into consideration. And the Phillies have Lenny Dykstra, who they are hyping for the MVP award. It'll be one of those 6.
And if you watch some of the tidbits done by some of the other people involved in television, you'll find guy not even playing being touted as an MVP.
Here's the 2-1 now to Gant. And it's even now 2-2.
Tommy Green got away with the pitch there, and he got away with it because Gant saw it upstairs, pulled off it a little. It was a pitch he thought he could drive. Then right at the end, a little bit of a movement on it, a slider. It was one of those that was so bad it turned out good for Tommy Green.
1 man out. Nixon down at second. A count of 2-2 on Ron Gant. Second strikeout of the inning for Tommy Green. 2 down.
He is showing you a good breaking ball early, and he's also following a bad one with an excellent one. Look at his spot there. Gant, there is no way with 2 strikes he can assume that's going to be a ball. It starts out above the knees. It starts out over the plate. And then Tommy Green puts it in a spot where no right-handed hitter could do a whole lot with it.
Now Fred McGriff hitting .290, 35 homers and 95 RBIs. Downstairs, ball 1. McGriff, one of 3 Braves who has scored over 100 runs this year. He scored 101. Ron Gant has scored 106. Jeff Blauser has scored 104. And if you add up Otis Nixon and Deion Sanders' numbers in that leadoff spot, they've also scored over 100 runs. The league leader in runs scored, playing out in center field right now. 2-0 the count on McGriff.
I know we'll get a lot of chance to talk about him all night long, but what a year he is having. Speaking of MVPs.
Two men out. Nixon the runner at second. And a count of 2-0 on McGriff. It goes to 3-0. Justice on deck.
Tommy Green just crossed up Darren Dalton big time, and he's lucky he has a guy back there with good reflexes, because that almost went all the way to the screen. Watch Dalton just swat this down. He's looking for a fastball, and oh my. He would rather have guessed fastball and gotten a curveball than guessed curveball and gotten a fastball somewhere up under the mask.
3-0 now to McGriff.
Who probably is green lighted if he wants to swing at it.
He does, and hits one sharply toward second. Run down by Mariano Duncan for out number 3. That'll do it for the Braves in the first. They leave a runner out at second at the end of a half inning. No score from the vet.
Sunday Night NFL on TNT. Coach Bill Parcells has a new team with a new look and a new attitude. And the Jets can't wait to change it. Patriots, Jets, Sunday night at 8 Eastern on TNT.
The ancient name for evil is about to be resurrected.
The warlock is here.
He has returned with a mission.
Tomorrow, everything is going to be destroyed.
Welcome to the other side of reality.
And the only ones who can stop him
This is the best you can do!
will have to face their darkest fear.
Welcome, my lord!
Warlock, the Armageddon, rated R. Now showing.
Everybody wants a battery that goes the distance. But you never know when they're about to run out of gas. Only Duracell has the copper top battery tester. So you can be sure your batteries will keep going down the road. For batteries you know will last, you can't top the copper top.
It's going to be different every week.
The King of Talk is coming to Saturday night.
We're going to try to be a little offbeat.
You be the judge. Larry's working the weekend.
Oh, come on, this beats work.
Premieres Saturday, October 2nd on CNN.
Gotta get out of here. Braves fail to score. Here come the Phillies, and here's their batting order. It's going to be Dykstra leading it off, followed by Duncan and Kruk. Batting cleanup, Dave Hollins, Dalton, and Incaviglia to follow. Wes Chamberlain is in right field and batting 7th. Stocker 8th. Tommy Green will bat 9th. Defensively, Gant, Nixon, and Justice left to right. Pendleton, Blauser, Limke, and McGriff 3rd to 1st. Barry Hill behind the plate. And 3 consecutive years of winning 20. Tommy Glavine on the mound. There you see Glavine's numbers. But this is one ball club that Tommy has struggled against a little bit. The Phillies have given him a hard time. Only 5 innings per start. He is 1-0. They've touched him up for 12 runs in 10 innings.
And a big ovation greets Lenny Dykstra leading off here in the bottom half of the first inning. And as Don mentioned, what a year he is having. 308, 19 homers, 63 RBIs. He has scored 139 runs, leads the league in hits. And the count 0-1 on Dykstra.
Here's some of those categories you were talking about in the top 3 in some of the most important offensive categories.
0-1 the count on Dykstra. Breaking ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That caught the corner, and it's 1-2 now on Dykstra. With the year he's had, he's become the first National League player to reach base safely 300 times since Tony Gwynn did it back in 1987. That's adding up everything, the walks, the hits, hit by pitches, but not this time. He's down on strikes. 1 gone, bottom of the first. Now Mariano Duncan.
Normally, guys like this get a lot of fastballs to hit, but Glavine fed him 2 breaking balls, and he set this pitch up perfectly. That's a fastball on the outer part of the plate with breaking ball in his mind. Dykstra a little bit late to it. Leadoff hitters and guys with small strike zones, Pete, are counting on pitchers, number 1, being afraid to throw them breaking balls, and number 2, not being able to put them in the strike zone.
Well, here's a red-hot hitter, Mariano Duncan. You saw his numbers for the year. He has an 18-game hitting streak going. Another breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. While Glavine has struggled a little bit against the Phillies this year, lifetime, he's 11-3 against Philadelphia and has pitched some of his best ball games in his career against this club, including his strikeout high, which came here at the Vet.
You talked about Duncan's hitting streak. If you want to take it back to August 25th, the tandem of Duncan and Morandini have a 26-game hitting streak. So every time they put a second baseman in there, he gets a hit.
1-2 the count now on Duncan.
And in the last month, Morandini and Duncan combined are hitting .360. So the front end of this Phillies lineup, a lot of people on base.
And that middle infield hitting, whether it's Duncan or Morandini at second and Kevin Stocker at short, is hit much better than anyone thought he would up here. That's fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes still on Mariano Duncan. The Expos are at New York tonight. We'll keep you posted on that game. We won't have much on the Giants San Diego game, which doesn't start until 10:30 Eastern time. On the ground to short, Blauser throws out Duncan, 2 down. And now first baseman John Kruk, who is sort of the character that personifies this whole Philly ball club. Having a big year, 316, 14 homers, 83 RBIs, but his personality is sort of the norm for the Phillies clubhouse this year. They've got a bunch of characters over there. High ball 1.
He's one of those guys that's never politically correct. He is just professionally perfect. You will not see that man right there on the cover of GQ, and he's proud of it.
In the air, deep left center field. That's where Otis Nixon had him played, though, and he's there to make the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Glavine. So nothing doing for the Phillies in the bottom half of the first inning. At the end of 1, no score from Philadelphia.
'93 Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Armor All Protectant. There is a fountain of youth, and we own the patent.
I have an MD from Harvard. I am board certified in cardiothoracic medicine. I have been awarded citations from 7 different medical boards. When someone goes into that chapel and they pray to God that their wife doesn't miscarry or that their daughter doesn't bleed to death, who do you think they're praying to? You ask me if I have a God complex? I am God.
Malice, rated R. Sneak preview Saturday.
You've never seen a camcorder like the Sharp View Cam. The viewfinder gone, replaced with this LCD view screen. You're right in the action. Gretzky scores? Let's go to the replay. Then, play it back instantly with color and sound. Want to see that again?
The Sharp View Cam, an absolute original.
So your first goal, Ty, and birthdays, graduations, your wedding, your kids, my grandchildren.
When it's this hot outside, you know how hot it is inside. That's why you need Armor All, the world's leading protectant. No matter how hot it gets or how cold, Armor All helps keep your dash looking new. We're so sure about it, we guarantee it. If your new dash ever cracks, we'll replace it, guaranteed. There is a fountain of youth, and we guarantee it. Armor All. Don't take chances.
Creativity everywhere. That's a nice creative way to get on the air. This telecast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club and is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
Braves going for their 99th win tonight. That would be an Atlanta high. And here's David Justice leading off the second, taking ball one. Justice 264, 37 homers, 113 RBIs. Big hit in Montreal last night. That bases loaded double that broke the game wide open. This will be out of play and the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike on Justice.
And I think you said it last night. It bears repeating. What happened that inning? Montreal made a couple of mistakes, maybe a mental error, and the Braves on the roll that they've been on have capitalized on every one of them. That's a mark of a good ball club.
And so is this team they're playing. Philadelphia capitalize on every little mistake the opponents make. So you've got to play at your best to beat the Phillies. You've got to play at your best to beat the Braves.
So you can get away with some of those against a bad ball club or a club that's not on a roll, but both of these are on rolls.
2-1 the count on Justice. No score, top half of inning 2. Phillies have the edge in the season series. They've won 5 out of 9 so far. And it goes to 3-1 now on Justice. Tommy Green, a former #1 draft pick of Atlanta. He went over with Dale Murphy in that trade a few years back. And for the second inning in a row, Tommy Green walks the leadoff man.
You were mentioning the wins. Look at this. Last year, 98 wins. This year, 98 wins. A chance to have the most wins in history, well, since 1900s. 57, 91 a good year, too. But, boy, when you start knocking at that 100 mark, that is one heck of a year.
Prior to 1900, a Braves team back in 1898 was the last to win over 100 games. They won 102, and that's the all-time franchise record. Here's Terry Pendleton batting .268 for the year with 16 homers and 73 runs driven in. In for a called strike, 0-1. Just missing with the off-speed delivery. 1 ball, 1 strike to Pendleton. After that disastrous start this year, Terry Pendleton's going to wind up having a pretty good season. He should be in the 270 to 280 range in hitting, closing in on 20 home runs and closing in on 80 RBIs. There goes the runner. Little tap over the mound. The shortstop Stocker's only play will be to first. And there's 1 gone. Justice running on the pitch winds up at second. And that'll bring up Damon Berryhill.
No surprise that Tommy Green didn't get a double play there. He really doesn't get that many behind him, only 5. The surprise was that he did get the ground ball. He is one of those guys that's basically a fly ball pitcher, and if you watch early in the ballgame, you see why. Most of his good fastballs are above the belt, not below them, and they have a riding motion and backspin, not sinking spin.
Berryhill, 241 for the year. He has 7 homers and 37 runs driven in. In the air to shallow center. Second baseman Mariano Duncan now called off by the shortstop Stocker. And there are 2 gone. Justice remains at second. The batter will be Mark Lemke. Lemke 2 for 9 in the Expos series. 254 now for the year. After that 8-game layoff when his knee was injured, Mark admitted it took him a couple of games to start feeling comfortable again. Just missed outside, ball 1. It's even on Lemke now, 1-1. Two and 1 the count on Lemke with 2 outs, a runner at second, no score. We're in the top half of inning 2. Pitching matchups for the rest of the series are also good. Tomorrow afternoon, John Smoltz against Danny Jackson. Sunday afternoon, Steve Avery against Kurt Schilling. Then the Braves come home to finish the season beginning Tuesday night against Houston. It's 2-2 now on Lemke.
Good pitch by Tommy Green. Throw the breaking ball behind, throw it for a strike. Boy, does he use a minimum amount of effort. He's a big guy and he uses his leverage well. Here on the Phillies, you get 2 extremes in effort. You get this, and then you get Mitch Williams, who falls all over the field.
On a play in the count, 2-2. Even though he's been a Philly now for a few years, it still seems strange to Tommy to be pitching against a lot of these guys. He came up in the Braves minor league organization with many of the players who are now wearing Atlanta uniforms, including Mark Lemke.
He himself a #1 pick of the Braves.
And off the field, he still remains pretty close to some of these former teammates of his in the minor leagues. 2-2 the count on Lemke. That pops away from Dalton. That'll get Justice over to third.
That's probably going to be a pass ball because it looked like it had. He reached back and put a little extra effort on the fastball. Watch it ride up and away from Lemke. Dalton, right off the heel of his glove, in and out of it. Watch right here. Yeah, that's in the center of the glove almost. That'll have to be a pass ball.
So the pass ball allows Justice to move over to third, and the count 3-2 now on Lemke. Still a full count.
What Tommy Green is doing right here is a small thing, but I think it's a significant and a good idea. He's pitched from the stretch, Pete, with Justice moving all the way around to third. Now with him there, you'll see a lot of pitchers go to the windup. It's so much easier to stay consistent if you use the same delivery all through the whole sequence till you get out of the inning. Obviously, if you get the bases empty, go back to the windup.
Another foul ball. Still a full count, 3-2. Lemke stays alive. Still 3-2. Tom Glavine waiting on deck.
Aren't you a little surprised Lemke's getting pitches to hit with Glavine, the next hitter?
I was a little surprised with the base open that they just didn't go ahead and walk Lemke to begin with.
You know, I know Tom's a good hitter, as are all these Braves pitchers, but Lemke's getting one strike after the other. He's just missing them. Close to a balk right there by Green.
This will stay in play for either Stocker or Incaviglia. Incaviglia calls him off, makes the catch. Second inning in a row, the Braves have gotten a leadoff walk. Second inning in a row, they left that man in scoring position. We go to the bottom half of the second inning, still no score.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and me. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Beer.
One of these engines was filled with Castrol Syntec, a synthetic oil, the rest with conventional oils. They were then drained and started without oil to prove a point. You see, Syntec has a unique molecular structure that bonds to engine parts. Lab tests show it leaves a layer of protection far stronger than conventional oils. And if Syntec protects this well now, Imagine if you leave it in. Castrol Syntec protects in ways other oils can't.
Legend has it, Colonel Sanders' secret recipe for a new kind of chicken lay lost for years. Until one fateful day.
Rotisserie chicken recipe. Confidential.
The rest is history. Introducing the Colonel's Rotisserie Gold. Marinated, then slow roasted as only the uncontested master of great tasting chicken would have done it.
You've still got it.
The Colonel's Rotisserie Gold. At KFC, we do chicken right.
Bottom of the second, no score from Philadelphia. Tom Glavine on the mound. He has done something that very few pitchers get a shot at doing. Ferguson Jenkins with the Cubs, the last to win. To have 3 consecutive years or 20 or more wins. And Pete, did you notice something there? I think you were talking about it earlier.
Little strange progression. The winning percentage has gotten better, but the ERA has gotten a little higher.
Tells you a couple of things, I think. Number one, it tells you that he's obviously getting some runs to play with, but I think he's maturing as a pitcher. A lot of pitchers, when they give up more than 1 or 2 runs, give up a bundle and get beat. His job, and he has mastered it, and I'll tell you somebody else that's doing it well. Expect numbers like that out of him is Steve Avery. They have learned to take the situation of the game and to not get blown out and to not get killed and always give the team a chance to come back and win. The mark of a true professional, and this guy's a good one.
Dave Hollins leads off here in the bottom of the second, batting .273, 18 homers and 89 runs driven in. A ball low and outside. I was talking with Tom Glavine after he picked up his 20th win last weekend, and he said, yes, it means an awful lot to you now, but it'll really mean a lot to you later on when you look back on what you've done. I think that's true of any athlete. You get kind of caught up in the season, especially when you're in a pennant race like this, and don't really think too much about what you've accomplished individually until the career is all over and you can sit back and take a look at some of the things you've done.
I think what happens to those of us who are outside of the realm of the competition, we don't treat it like a job. But if you're successful as an athlete, as you have to be in any other business, you have to treat it like a job, and he does that. He is a professional.
2-1 the count now on Dave Hollins. Hollins, Dalton, and Incaviglia do up here in the bottom of the second.
I'll tell you, you hit it right on the head a little bit later on when he looks back, but also when he looks back and looks at the company that he's keeping, and also the great ones who never got to do what he did.
2-2 the count now on Dave Hollins. Even some of the Braves' younger players who have just gotten here are aware a little bit of what a special time this could be in their careers. Ryan Klesko talking the other day about how many great players have never gotten a chance to go to postseason play, and here he's on a team, even if it's only for a little while this year, and has a chance to go for a 3rd straight time. Still 2-2 on Hollins.
I think the Braves are doing a good job of continuing to school their youngsters coming up in the fact that it is a team sport, in the team concept. And I think when you're winning, you can do that. And we've gotten away from the individual concept. The one guy is the star. It's a group of guys doing their job well.
That's fouled off at the plate. 2-2 remains the count on Dave Hollins. One of the most intense competitors in the National League. This guy hates to lose. They say if the Phillies lose a tough one, it's not unlikely to see Hollins still sitting in the locker room dressed an hour and a half later, just hanging his head. Up the middle, Lemke can't get to it. Base hit for Hollins. So there's the first hit for either side. And it brings up Darren Dalton.
That base hit a product of 2 things. Number one, plate coverage, and he gets good plate coverage. And the second is strength. He was strong enough to take a good pitch from Tom Glavine and hit it hard enough to get it through the infield. Third thing is the turf. Mark Lemke's got a little bit more of a shot at that on a grass field.
Now, even though Darren Dalton's a left-hand hitter, Tom Glavine's had trouble with him in his career. He's 9 for 23 against Glavine. That's a .391 career batting average for Dalton off Glavine. Now ball outside. Dalton, the first member of the Philadelphia Phillies to have consecutive 100 RBI seasons since all the way back in 1964 and 65. Johnny Callison, an outfielder, did it back then. Count goes to 2-0.
And you mentioned competitors. Boy, he was a competitor too, cut out of the Hollins and out of the Dalton mold.
Nobody out. Hollins the runner at first. Tom Glavine, as we've told you all year, doesn't let you get a very big lead over there. There have only been 11 stolen base attempts when Tom Glavine's been on the mound this year. And that's now into its 222nd inning. And 5 of those attempts have been unsuccessful. Only 6 stolen bases when Glavine's on the mound so far this year.
And if you watch his delivery, that tells you why. He automatically uses a little slide step. Most guys have to incorporate that in, and it's something they work on. But his delivery is such that he stays on top of the ball and he stays behind it, even with just a very short, very quick stride.
Needs to throw a strike here behind 3-0. And he walks him. So the Phillies have something going here. Runners first and second, nobody out. And here comes Pete Incaviglia. Look at those numbers for Pete Incaviglia. And he is not an everyday player. Only 342 at bats. And putting up numbers that a lot of guys with over 500 at bats who have power would like to have.
Well, don't you think that's been one of the keys for this ball club? They have added people who have done just what he's done. The left field platoon of Incaviglia and Thompson have hit 27 homers, 28 doubles, 117 RBIs, and hitting .308 with runners in scoring position. That's adding key role players to your club.
And right now, Tom Glavine falling into one of those little stretches that pop up occasionally for him, more so this year than the last couple, where he has trouble throwing a strike.
And this is unusual. He had only 2 base on balls in his last about 30 innings.
Big swing by Incaviglia, and the count 1-1.
But you know, he has that equalizer. He has a changeup which can disrupt timing. He has the best mechanics with it. Great motion, and he isn't afraid to throw it. 3-0, 0-2. It doesn't matter what the count.
It gets away from Barry Hill, but not far enough for the runners to move up. Count goes to 2-1 on Incaviglia. Glavine's been a little concerned with that control difficulty, especially early in the year when it was really bothering him. He says it's just a matter of mechanics. He's walked 84 people now this year. That's more than he's ever walked in a single season. But it seems to kind of come and go. He'll have stretches where he walks a lot of people in 2 or 3 starts in a row, and then he'll have stretches like he's had recently where he doesn't walk hardly anybody.
Yeah, only 6 of those base on balls have come in the last 40 or 45 innings.
It's 2-1 now on Incaviglia. On the ground to short. Jeff Blauser to Mark Lemke one. Lemke on to first. Juggled by McGriff. So no double play. And if you're a youngster out there that's a first baseman, pay attention to what McGriff did after he juggled the ball. He was very much aware of the situation and looked immediately to third to make sure that Dave Hollins wasn't going anywhere.
Well, he wanted to catch it, but he also wanted to make sure he kept it in front of them. One of the reasons this wasn't turned is the aggressive play of Darren Dalton. He was going to get all over Mark Lemke. Watch here, he's bearing down on him. Mark trying to throw off balance. McGriff played that like a catcher on a curveball in the dirt. If I can't catch it, let me get it off my chest and in front of me, but at least keep it close enough so nobody advances.
So they're at first and third with 1 down now for Wes Chamberlain. 275, 12 homers, and 41 RBIs for Chamberlain this year. And this has been another great situation, Chamberlain-Eisenreich combo.
Yeah, you put a tandem at second that's delivered. You put one in left field that's delivered.
They have 19 home runs and 95 RBIs between them. Hollins, the runner at third, in Cavilla now at first with one down. And the 0-1 foul back, 0-2.
Throw in there 35 doubles, 6 triples, and they're hitting 317. And if you know Jim Fregosi at all, he is kind of like the riverboat gambler, the brawling type personality too. And I don't mean that with any disrespect or lack of respect. He is that kind of guy, and I think that he has a ball club. Throw Lee Thomas in there. The two of them have a ball club, I think, that reflect their personalities, and they're letting them be themselves.
Just like the Braves seem to reflect the personality of Bobby Cox with their evenness from day to day.
And that's how you can come from 10 down, too.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I think that what we were talking about earlier, asking where the emotion was, who gets all fired up, more in that dugout because of the personality of Bobby Cox. But then again, there's an important thing. When you go over a year and you don't get shut out, it's easy to have fun offensively, isn't it?
1-2 the count now in Chamberlain. The runners lead from first and third. And the 1-2 stays upstairs, 2-2.
Good pitch for Tommy Glavine, and one that every now and then he gets away from. That's that inside fastball to keep them honest. He's had so much success turning the ball over that I think hitters and maybe even Tommy himself every now and then can forget about how good his four-seam fastball is.
Here's the 2-2. Right back up the middle. The shortstop Blauser and Lemke get tangled up. A run's going to score. Everybody's going to be safe. That was a ground ball that 3 different people had a chance to field. Glavine elected to let it go by, thinking the double play could have been done down at second base by either Blauser or Lemke, and then they got tangled up. A run is in. It's 1-0 Phillies.
Off the end of the bat, you will see it hop over Glavine, and you're right. He had a shot, and then as it gets close to second, if Blauser can take that, that's a routine double play. His momentum would have carried him right to the bag. But when he and Lemke collided, that made it easy there, and it also just whitewashed the double play.
So the Phillies are on the board, 1-0. They're scoring that a base hit for Chamberlain. He gets his 42nd RBI of the year. And runners are now at first and second. Still only 1 out for Kevin Stocker. What a story he's been. 336, a couple of home runs, 29 RBIs after his promotion from AAA. And that was one position that the Phillies have been looking for somebody for years. Almost ever since Larry Bowa left this ball club. They've had a whole progression of people playing shortstop, and now Stocker looks like he's got himself a job for a while. Two and nothing the count on Kevin Stocker. Here's a guy who in the low minor leagues the last 2 years hit 220, 283, and 250. No indication coming up that he was going to be this kind of a hitter. They knew he could play the position defensively.
Well, he's got a guy here who can help him both defensively and offensively. There's a guy who can help him defensively, and Dennis Menke, who also played some pretty good shortstop, a good guy to have on your side when you're working on hitting.
The count 2-0 on Stocker. Chamberlain the runner at first, Incaviglia at second. 1 run in, 1 man out, bottom of the second. Outside again, 3-0.
No automatic out with Tommy Green coming up next either.
No, he can swing a bat. And on 4 straight, Stocker walks. They are loaded for Tommy Green.
Remember what we were talking about earlier, a mistake. You can get away with it with a bad ball club, but a mistake, whether intentional, physical, or mental, a good ball club makes it hard on you and almost always impossible to get away with it. The play at second could have and should have been a double play.
Bases loaded, one man down. Pitcher Tommy Green will be the batter. Leo Mazzoni finishes his visit to the mound. And now Tommy Green steps in. He's hitting .209. He has 2 homers this year, 8 RBIs this year. Hit a home run off Steve Avery here 2 years ago.
And hitting over 400 in his last 4 ball games.
Outside corner for a called strike, 0-1. It's even 1-1 on Green. Foul away, 1-2. Well, we'll see if Tom Glavine can do just what you were talking about earlier, Don. You were saying he's learned how to get into situations like this and get out of them without a lot of run scoring. If you can get out of this with just the 1 run scoring, you're okay.
Yep, I think the term we started using the last couple of years is damage control. You can't always pitch a shutout. It's a given fact. It's going to be hard to shut this club out, but you can keep it at a minimum. And when you have a good offensive club, give them a chance to get even as soon as possible.
2-2. Lenny Dykstra on deck. Incaviglia at third, Chamberlain the runner at second, Kevin Stocker the runner at first with 1 man out. Here's the 2-2. That's going to be a foul ball. That was foul by about an inch. And it would have meant at least 2 runs if it had dropped fair.
Just to make contact, he did a good job. That would have cleared the bases. Follow the ball. Watch where it hits near the line.
Less than an inch.
Using that term near advisedly.
Charlie Williams right on top of that baseball to make the call. Tommy Green broke his bat, has to go back and get a new stick. And he'll step back in there now with a count of 2-2.
That may be one of those plays where the Braves are glad they're on AstroTurf, because it would have been interesting to see if chalk would have flown if they're playing on grass. These lines painted on down there, so you're not going to get the puff of powder up. Tell you what, he fouled off a heck of a pitch there.
Now the 2-2 to Green. Looping line drive left center field. Gant coming in, can't get it. Into scoring Caviglia. Into score Chamberlain. 3-0 Phillies. Tommy Green driving in his 9th and 10th runs of the year.
So we talk damage control by pitchers, but sometimes your other players have to play damage control too. No chance of catching this. You've got to keep it in front of you. You concede 1, but keep the ball in front of you and don't give them the second one.
A 3-run inning for the Philadelphia Phillies. They have runners at first and second, 1 out for Lenny Dykstra. Dykstra struck out in the first. Pickoff play on at second base, and they got him. Kevin Stocker picked off at second. Jeff Blauser applies the tag.
Daylight play, no sign on this. It's one where Blauser got between him. Watch the move. Blauser had so much room between Stocker and the bag to throw on the money. That is a good timing play, And Glavine kept his eye on him, but the break right there by Blauser, the head start, made that play possible.
So 2 men are out, a runner at first. And Dykstra takes a strike in the inside corner on 1.
Damage control right there. Look for an out any way you can get it, and don't get so caught up in the fact, oh, I gave up a bloop single that cost me 2 runs. Glavine stayed in the game, was looking for a way to get out of the jam.
They're not holding Tommy Green at first, as you see. Right off the fist towards second. Lemke will take it himself at second base for out number 3. But the Phillies strike for 3 here in the bottom half of inning 2, and we go to the third with the Phillies up 3-0.
For all of you with the courage to go it alone, to put your future on the line and your name on the door, there's the corporate card from American Express. Use it for all your business expenses. We'll organize them by category and even provide records of charges. It's a great way for any company to get a handle on costs. Call 1-800-SUCCESS. The corporate card to your success.
Chuck Daly for Sharp.
In basketball or business, you got to know what your players can do for you. That's why Sharp has a winning game plan for copiers. This booklet will help you find the right copier to increase productivity and reduce operating expenses. Whether you get a new Sharp high-volume copier system or a compact copier that lets you add on as your office needs grow. So call 1-800-B-SHARP now and get your winning game plan, because Sharp's got the players you need to win.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. If your kid's just starting college, it's guaranteed till he graduates. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox. It's protection you never had from antifreeze before. Get new Xerox Extreme 450. And for the next 4 years, the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
Braves trail at 3-0. Postseason not a certainty yet, but it is a good time to start thinking about tickets for postseason play. The National League Championship Series in Atlanta, and if the World Series is there, you see that. Tickets go on sale Sunday at 2 o'clock in the Atlanta area. You can call them at 249-6400. Outside of Atlanta, 1-800-326-4000. Here are the ways you can pay for it. American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Discover cards. Cash is always accepted with an ID. Certified check and money orders will be accepted. The prices, you see them there, they are accurate. And so get all set. Remember, 2 o'clock on Sunday, start calling. Nothing will be taken before. And this is not one of those gigs where you can show up and say, I want the tickets. You must make the call. Also, remember, a maximum of 2 tickets subject to availability. Now, let's get there.
And we go to the top of the third with the Phillies up 3-0. Pitcher Tom Glavine leads off for the Braves. 176 average for the year. He's driven in 3 runs. A ball and no strikes to Glavine. In for a strike, 1-1. Good fastball by Green. 1-2 the count now on Glavine. Two and two. And that's all for Glavine. Green records his 3rd strikeout. 1 gone, top of the 3rd, and we go back to the top of the order now. Notice Nixon, who drew a walk in the 1st. 2-1 the count on Otis. There's the defense we always see. Third baseman Hollins in, first baseman Kruk in. And the count even now. 1 ball, 1 strike. Left side of the infield. Kevin Stocker. And there are 2 down.
You know what the Phillies did when they put this ball club together? They've shored up their defense in the infield. Stocker is good there. Hollins is good at third. Kruk is a good defensive first baseman. It's overlooked. And then in the outfield, Dykstra is a good defensive center fielder, but they traded offense for defense at the other 2 positions. And right now, with over 840 runs scored, they top the world in runs scored.
Jeff Blauser struck out in the first, behind in the count here, 0-1. Two men out, base is empty. A ball and a strike on Blauser. Count goes to 2-1. Tommy Green bouncing back this year from shoulder problems, which sidelined him for much of last season. And it's now 3-1 on Blauser.
Usually a pitcher, when he has shoulder or elbow surgery, has to change his whole style of pitching. Green's been fortunate he hasn't had to do that.
Outside corner fills the count, 3-2. Tommy just 26 years old. He lives in Richmond now. Born in Lumberton, North Carolina. Here's the payoff pitch to Blauser. Sharply hit. Hollins. Nice play to his left. On to first in time. 1-2-3 go the Braves. In the third, we go to the bottom half of inning 3 from Veterans Stadium. 3-0 Phillies.
TBS is calling all Curlies.
What is it? What do we have to do?
It's simple. Videotape your best curly impression and send it to TBS Calling All Curlies, 1050 Techwood Drive, Atlanta, 30318. Entries must be received by October 12th. Sorry, we can't return your tape. And kids, get your parents' help. The top Curlies will air on TBS during our Curly Marathon, October 22nd. So get in touch with your inner stooge. Just don't hurt yourself. Yes, TBS is calling all Curlies. Enter today.
You saw yourself on a Harley, the tyrant of the two-lane.
And you on stage at Madison Square Garden, the lights, the fans.
Then you met her. Goodbye, Harley.
Hello, Diamond.
Matching towels.
Power tools.
And a house. Now you're remodeling, buying lumber and plywood.
Choosing paneling. Molding.
Doors. Windows. Tile backer. Tile backer? Would you say your interests have evolved?
Georgia Pacific. Whatever you dream for your home, we help you build on your imagination.
That's right. There's a little morale problem lately.
Am I missing something?
It's not exactly a cushy job. We owe them more than just a paycheck. When Buddy's wife was in the hospital, our health plan didn't cover everything. What? He had to lay out his own money.
Gaps like co-payments and deductibles can be closed with Aflac. Affordable supplemental insurance from Aflac gives your employees the protection they need and deserve.
Let's talk to Aflac.
Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Phil's up by 3. Let's take a look at the rest of the scoreboard, the one we'll all wait for later on. That's Sanders against Sanderson. St. Louis over Florida. Rhodes has a homer for Chicago. Fletcher a homer for Montreal. They're on top. The rest of the action later on. In the American League, Albert Bell, his 35th homer, has tied that with Guzman against Key. Travis Fryman a homer for Detroit. Herbeck his 23rd for Minnesota. Texas and Chicago just underway, and all the rest of the action coming up a little bit later as soon as they can stop it from raining in Kansas City too.
And here in the bottom of the third, Mariano Duncan leads off. He grounded out to short his first time and takes ball one from Tom Glavine.
Getting strike one is a key to Duncan. He's such a free swinger, never walks. So once you get strike one, you really don't have to throw him anymore. You can throw it just near.
Outside corner, it's 1-1.
Changeup is such a good pitch for a free swinger, Pete, because it looks fastball. That's what they want to hit, but it throws the timing off.
Outside corner, 1-2. Duncan has walked only 11 times this year.
How many of those intentionally?
None.
None.
85 strikeouts.
He probably hit a couple of those when he were trying to walk him intentionally.
He's been to the plate nearly 500 times. And there he goes. Pitch out of the strike zone. Get ahead in the count. Make him chase one. Second strikeout for Glavine.
Fastball for a strike, curveball for a strike, change up in the neighborhood. A free swinger is not going to let that pass.
One gone. That'll bring up John Kruk, who fly to center his first time up. A ball and no strikes on Kruk.
You notice second time through the lineup now, Glavine going to his curveball a little bit more. He has a good one. It's a good part of his arsenal.
Downstairs, the count 2-0.
I think it's better when he uses it early in the count, Pete. If he can get a strike with a curveball, then back it with a changeup. Most hitters think when they see the changeup that he's backing it with a fastball. It becomes much more effective.
There's a strike. 2-1 now to Kruk. The Philly fanatic.
Is there a better mascot in baseball?
He's the best. 3-1 now on John Kruk. Right to the second baseman, Mark Lemke. And that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the third. You know, I've often wondered what team mascots, how they fill out their IRS sheets, what they put down for occupation.
I'm a fanatic. So do a number of folks we know, but they don't get away with it. Well, it looks like there he's running for a political office.
Two men gone. Dave Hollins the hitter. Hollins got that second inning 3-run rally started with a single up the middle. In the air, deep center field. Otis Nixon has it tracked though. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Tom Glavine. Nothing doing for the Phillies in the third. We're 3 innings old here at the Vet. And our score 3-0 Phillies.
Your house is losing it. Heat, air conditioning, up to $350 every year. Time to cut your energy loss with new DAP Energy Saver All-Season Caulk. Energy Saver's special formula seals cracks for years. And with our unique DAP cap, anyone can get professional results. Looking good. Now it's easy to seal and save with new DAP Energy Saver Caulk. Use it or lose it.
Wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shoney's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
People care about the world these days. They just don't want me to put another toxic antifreeze in their car. I mean, who needs toxic? So what if it protects to 70 below? Any antifreeze can do that. Tell me that it's different, safer. Tell me nothing protects better, and it's biodegradable. I mean, what if their dog gets into it? Or their kids? This is serious. It's a changing world. Poison's out.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
We go to the top half of the fourth inning. 3-0 Phillies our score. I want to remind you tomorrow on U.S. Olympic gold heavyweight Felix Savon leads the powerful Cuban boxing team against the Americans in a live boxing match from Biloxi, Mississippi. U.S. Olympic gold tomorrow 4:30 Eastern time on TNT. We're in the fourth inning. It'll be Ron Gant leading off for Atlanta. And here's Don Sutton.
All right, Pete, thank you very much. Gant, a heavyweight in his own right. 277, 35 homers, 113 RBIs, 24 steals. He is too shy of 160 base hits. He, like Pendleton, has come on strong in the second half. 3-0 Phillies. A strike from Tommy Green. The temperature here in Philadelphia, low to middle 60s, so the umpires have said that the pitchers can go to their face and blow on their hands. You might have seen Tommy Green doing it a little bit earlier and wondered why he wasn't warned or a ball call, and that's why. 0-2 to Gant. And I think that one took a bite out of Dalton. Three runs, 3 hits for the Phillies, all of them coming in the second inning. The Braves zeros across the board. Got the leadoff man on in the first, and Nixon couldn't score. Got the leadoff man on in the second, Justice, and couldn't score. Ball strike 3. That's 4 for Tommy Green. 1 gone in the fourth.
Gant thought the pitch might have been a little outside, and he might have been right. You can see that look back at Gary Darling by Ron Gant. It's the 4th strikeout for Green.
And some help back there by Darren Dalton, catching that with the glove coming toward home plate.
Coca-Cola homers for America salutes Fred McGriff. His grand slam Tuesday against Montreal was his 5th career grand slam. And all season, Coca-Cola donates $500 for each Braves homer to help rebuild Youth League parks as part of the Homers for America program.
It's a ball and a strike to McGriff. He too with 35 homers, and he's 5 shy of 100 RBIs. Braves almost a lead pipe cinch to have 3 with over 100. Into the bat to Stocker. The rookie shortstop makes quick work of McGriff. 2 gone here in the 4th inning. And 8 in a row set down by Tommy Green since he walked David Justice to lead off the second inning. And here comes Justice. Good night for David last night against the Expos. He was 2 out of 3. He had a couple of doubles. He had 3 RBIs. He was 2 out of 7 in the series. He's got base hits in 8 of his last 9, and during that time hitting over 330. There's some heavy artillery in the middle of this lineup. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. Blauser with 15 homers, Gant with 35, McGriff 35, Justice 37, and don't forget Pendleton. He's up to 16 now. 1-1. There you are. Did McGriff make a difference? I reckon. It's amazing what one man in the middle of the lineup can do to it. 2-1 to Justice. A lot of these Braves, with their offensive years that they've had last year and this year, are putting themselves in some pretty good company. Justice has done that this year with his RBIs. There's a strike, and it's 2-2. David hit the 100 RBI mark on September 4th. The only other Brave to hit it any quicker was Henry Aaron. He did it back in 1970. He had 118 for the year. Justice almost a lead pipe cinch to top that. Full count.
Aaron holds the Atlanta record for RBIs back in 1966. First year the Braves were in Atlanta. Hank drove in 127. That's the all-time Atlanta record.
And with pride, may I say, I helped contribute to that. Payoff pitch to David Justice. 3-0 Phillies. There's ball 4. Third walk of the game issued by Tommy Green. The only 3 base runners the Braves have had, and a little bit unusual for Green. He came in with 51 walks and right at 190 innings. That'll bring up Terry Pendleton. Grounded sharply to Stocker his first time up. I'll tell you, it is hard to pick an MVP in this ball club because you can pick out any one week in this season and you can pick somebody who was an MVP that week and it would be a different person. Pick a month, it'll be a different guy. Pick a year, the job is going to be a little bit harder when you go over the year. Out of play, 0-1 to Pendleton. May the 5th, Pendleton came into that ball game hitting less than 150. Since that time, right at 300 on the nose. And he has been so responsible.
And you talk about the difference Fred McGriff makes. .293 batting average for Pendleton since McGriff arrived. It took Terry out of that number 3 spot where he was struggling all year, got him into a number 6 spot where he's been very comfortable.
He's in a hole now, 0-2. Well, he's hitting over 300 when he's been in that 5th and 6th spot. He's also gone to double figures in homers since McGriff arrived, too. In the dirt, did he go around? I'm sure they'll appeal. Down to Joe West at 3rd. No, sir, said the singing up. And it's 1-2. I was surprised to see his name listed among the umpires working this series.
Yeah, he was working in the other crew. Harry Wendelstedt's crew. Harry down for the year after undergoing the emergency appendectomy. So Joe filled in over there and now is back with the crew he's been working with.
We certainly hope Harry's getting along well. A ball and 2 strikes to Pendleton. Justice the runner at first. Plays off the high one, and it's 2-2. You notice hitters have little idiosyncrasies or little tricks that help them remind themselves not to chase that one. You saw Pendleton after he laid off of it slap himself on the right thigh. Kind of a tough way to congratulate yourself, but just a reminder, don't go up the ladder after that high fastball. That's what he wants him to do. That's headed for the corner, but it's going to get into the crowd, and it's still 2-2. They shade Pendleton toward the left field side. Although Incaviglia down in left field there, I don't think he moves around a whole lot for anybody. Dykstra a couple of steps toward left center. Chamberlain straight away in right field. Again, it's out of play, and it's still 2-2. We will not be with you on TBS tomorrow. That game will be carried by CBS, but all you folks down in the Southeast, it will be on the Braves Radio Network. John Smoltz at 3 o'clock first, or in the neighborhood first pitch. John Smoltz against Danny Jackson. So if you're down south, then you do have the Braves Radio Network down there. Down low, and it'll be 3-2 to Terry Pendleton. Pendleton only 34 base on balls. A little bit more selective as a left-handed hitter. And if he walks, you will see Terry does not toss his bat away. He waits for the bat boy to come get it. Watch this. Take the glove off. The wrist protector off. Here comes the bat boy. You take those, I'll go to first. They're at first and second with 2 outs for Damon Berryhill. Second walk in the inning, fourth in the game.
Braves left a runner at second back in the first inning, left a runner at third back in the second inning. Another runner in scoring position here, also a runner at first.
Berryhill won that hit in the second inning. He popped to short with David Justice down at second. First pitch swinging foul, and it's 0-1. Pat Corrales getting very adept down at first base of getting out of the way of those foul balls. Over in the third base coach's box, as always, relaying the signs out and throwing up the stop signs and windmilling them home, Jimmy Williams. Another foul ball, and it's 0-2. Remember, pitchers went through a stretch this year where they threw Damon Berryhill nothing but off-speed stuff. And it seemed like for about 6 weeks they went back to the fastball. Now we're seeing more breaking balls to Damon Berryhill. Like most left-handed hitters, he likes that ball down in the strike zone. He likes to extend. A little too far to reach. Still stays alive, and it's 0-2. Berryhill's done some of his best hitting in this situation. He's hitting .300 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. That's where they are. Inside, 1-2. Good pitch from Tommy Green. We're kidding Damon about his high school on the bus the other night. Is it the Fighting Artists of Laguna Beach High School? To center field, but I think that's going to stay in the yard for Dykstra. He says it is, and he's got it. So the Braves threaten here in the 4th inning, but come away empty, leave 2 more stranded. That's 4, 3 of them in scoring position. 3.5 in the books. Phillies lead at 3-0.
To soar with eagles, be the best. To win the industry's highest awards for quality, commit to excellence. Provide superior quality products and have the strength to offer them at more than 12,500 locations nationwide. More than any other major brand. Discover for yourself the difference quality can make. Fly with the new superpower.
In my career, I've had a lot of good things happen to me. Of course, there were a few headaches, but that's when I'd reach for a Goody's headache powder, and I'm not alone. In a recent survey, doctors preferred the Goody's Formula 2 by more than 3-1 over BC's. And only Goody's beats a headache the way I prefer, in record-breaking time.
Wake up to Shawnee's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shawnee's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shawnee's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
And before we begin the bottom half of the 4th inning with the Phillies leading at 3-0, time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Here it is. Tom Glavine has 3 consecutive 20-win years. How many times did Sandy Koufax and Steve Carlton do it? And by do it, we mean have 3 consecutive 20-win years. We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning.
I think we've got that one, don't we? Don't let the question. It's a trick the way it's asked. 3-0 Phillies. We won't give it away. Here's Dalton, Incaviglia, and Chamberlain. The Phillies, all three of them coming in the second inning. The Phillies, 843 runs scored. Nobody else in the National League has that many. Ball 1 to Dalton. They're 1 point shy of the San Francisco Giants as far as batting average is concerned. The Giants hitting .276 as a team. The Phils .275. But where they do some damage to you, popped up, that's going to get out of play. It's 1-1. They lead the National League in triples. Check that. They're second to Colorado in triples, but if you've ever been to Mile High Stadium, there's an explanation for that. But they lead the National League in doubles. Colorado only within a dozen of them. They lead the National League in RBIs. On the ground, but foul, and it's 1-2. So they have done it with offense this year with good defense in the infield. The pitching, what it has done has taken advantage of the runs and have not beaten themselves. They have a 3.9 earned run average, but they have 24 complete games and 10 shutouts. Only 3 teams in double figures in shutouts. Did he or didn't he? Apparently not, and it's 2-2.
Very close on this pitch. It was outside
when it was caught. Still, and it's 2-2. Full count. A couple of close ones, and Glavine wanted them both. There is a long and rich history with Philadelphia Phillies baseball, but Darren Daulton has etched his name at the top of one list on the only catcher in the history of the Phils to draw 100 walks in a season. The Phillies have 3 guys with over 100 base on balls. Add to that list by 1. That's the 3rd base on ball issued by Tom Glavine.
And again tonight, it's not just because of the 3 walks, but throughout the night he's really not had the pinpoint control that he does when he's having himself a good game. He has now thrown 58 pitches in this game, but only 31 of them have been for strikes.
And what we've been seeing out of him is 2.5 to 1 ratio the last few ball games. The ever dangerous Pete Incaviglia on a fielder's choice and scored in the second inning. On the ground, could be 2. Pendleton goes to Lemke. Lemke turns it to McGriff. It's a double play. 5-4-3 if you're scoring, and a pitcher's best friend.
And that ball was hit a little more sharply that time, so Lemke had a little more time to get out of the way of the oncoming Darren Daulton. Took a little bit of a different angle. Remember the last time he tried to turn the DP, he had to take a little step back off the bag. This time watch him step a little bit toward third to get out of Dalton's way.
Good play by Pendleton. Good play by Lemke. That erases Daulton. 2 gone for Chamberlain. He got a single, an RBI, and scored 1 in the second inning. Ball 1 misses outside. 90th game for Chamberlain. He's hitting .275, a dozen homers. Chamberlain, Daulton, Dykstra, Hollins, Incaviglia, and Kruk all in double figures in homers for the Phillies. Off the plate and foul. 1-1. It's amazing. The Phillies, when you go through the Phillies lineup, Pete, it looks like they have half the guys who are going to walk 100 times and half the guys who are going to walk 11.
Yeah. Either free swingers or very selective.
Chamberlain, one of those guys that's a free swinger. He's only walked 16 times. Duncan has walked 11. Incaviglia 21. And here's how they measure up against other Phils. Definitely a chance to catch 29, but 1930 may be out of reach. Chance for Pendleton. Good play by Terry Pendleton. Smart play by Terry Pendleton.
Well, the closer he got to this ball, the more he was able to determine what kind of spin it had on it. And he could see it beginning to veer foul. Didn't think he had a chance to throw out Chamberlain, so let it go. You're looking at that list of runs scored by the Phillies. They're only 4 runs away from the number 3 team on that list, the 1977 Phillies. You remember that group with Mike Schmidt and Greg Lazinski and Gary Maddox?
There were some mashers there. Bob Boone, 847 runs. Gary Maddox. And that's what they did. Eastern Division champion. Good pitch. 2-2.
Update on the score from New York. Montreal now leading the New York Mets 2-0. They're in the top half of the 5th inning. Marquise Grissom is in a home run. Mets are still without a hit off Chris Nabholz.
Yeah, we all took off from Montreal at the same time last night. The Expos were clearing customs and checking out at the same time we were. Didn't mean to. Glavine will hurry. Get him. Good play, Tom Glavine. The walk doesn't hurt. He's wiped out on a double play. 4 complete here at the vet. It's the Phillies on top, 3-0.
'93 Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Embassy Suites Hotel. Twice the hotel. Call 1-800-EMBASSY.
What does it take to be a mountain man? Do you need a big horse? Do you need a deep tan? Do you have to have a saddle? Do you have to have the gear? Well, the simple truth is you just gotta have the beer.
Bush beer, an easy drinking Bush Light. Have you got what it takes to be a mountain man?
What does it take to live a mountain man's life? Get smooth Bush beer is a drinking Bush Light.
Inside your smooth-running engine is a torture chamber. And under these grueling conditions, only one leading motor oil in every grade meets the world's toughest requirements for viscosity breakdown. Castrol. Castrol provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol. Why make things tougher on your engine? Castrol GTX, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Try Castrol Super Clean for tough, greasy jobs. If it won't come clean with Super Clean, it won't come clean.
Open your coat, please. Take that thing out, slowly.
You got some kind of device. We have a possible situation.
No,
wait, now. We have a situation here.
It's not a situation.
This is
Touch the button, sir.
It's just everybody.
Car stereo.
Pioneer car stereos offer you a detachable face for the ultimate in security.
You see, it's a detachable face for the car stereo. What's the matter with these people?
Still 3-0 Phillies as we go to the top of the 5th. Let's answer tonight's Aflac trivia question, which was Tom Glavine has 3 consecutive 20-win years. How many times did Sandy Koufax and Steve Carlton do that? Win 20 games 3 years in a row? They never did. That gives you an idea of just what a special accomplishment it's been for Tom Glavine to put those back-to-back 20-win seasons together.
Top of the 5th. Lemke will lead it off. First pitch swinging. Incaviglia or Stocker. It's going to be the left fielder. 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th inning. Pete Van Weeren, Don Sutton with you from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Joe and Skip will be over after the end of this half inning. Take you the rest of the way. Here comes Tom Glavine.
Don talked with Andy Miller today. He's the director of the Braves baseball fantasy camp. It'll be held again in February. If you'd like some information, give them a call. 1-800-8-BRAVES. Must be 30 years or older to participate, so find out about it. It's a lot of fun.
First pitch to Glavine outside. It's 1-0. Do they have a maximum age on that?
No.
So I'm still eligible. You've gone to a couple of those.
I've gone to a couple of those.
Those are always fun. 1-0 to Glavine. Here's a strike. 1-1. One of our favorite people in baseball, Charlie McCormick, one of the guys who looks out for us here up in the press box in Philadelphia, just honored recently by the Phillies for completing his 50th year with the Phillies organization. 1-2 to Glavine. And he's got relatives Earl and Joan Gleaton back in Savannah, who, although Uncle Charlie works over here, they are definite Braves fans, and we want to howdy them back in Savannah. Got him. He's gotten Glavine twice, 5 on the night, and quickly 2 out in the 5th inning. Also, we want to thank Renee and Christine Duca from over in Chester Heights, Pennsylvania, a couple Braves fans in enemy territory, for the neat little package of goodies that they sent us that none of us need, but we're all going to eat before the night's over. So thank you too. 3-0 Phillies. Here's Otis Nixon. Braves still without a hit. 4 base runners, all 4 of them issued free tickets by Tommy Green. There's a strike, and it's 0-1. A ball and a strike. Wonder how many folks who wear Giant uniforms are tuned in watching this one. This time it's high, and it's 2-1. Way high. 3 balls and 1 strike to Otis Nixon.
Green has at times been overpowering in this game, still has not allowed a hit, but has thrown a lot of pitches for this stage in a ball game. He has now thrown 86 pitches. We're only in the 5th inning. That could catch up with him in an inning or two.
Another one takes a bite out of Dalton. Foul ball, and it's 3-2. Payoff pitch coming to Otis Nixon. Dalton, one of those catchers that opts not to wear the protector hanging down, but he has that Adam's apple protector built into his mask. Every catcher catching now, though, ever since the Steve Yeager accident, which had nothing to do with catching, you'll find them with built-in protection for the throat. There's ball 4. 5th walk issued by Tommy Green. It'll bring up Jeff Blauser. And Pete, when you walk this many guys against a club that produces like the Braves, you're tiptoeing through a minefield. As you were pointing out, the high pitch total. Sooner or later, somebody's going to catch up to you with a hit. And if you're issuing free tickets, those hits are a lot more damaging. You see what Blauser's done tonight, the grounder to third. Jeff still at 306, a career high 15 homers, career high 67 RBIs. There's ball 1. Career high 172 hits and 16 stolen bases. To first to Nixon, but he's back safely.
All these walks and still a shutout working for Tommy Green. I just looked up the record for the most walks in a 9-inning shutout in the National League. Jim Maloney walked 10 in one game, pitched a shutout. J.R. Richard walked 10 in one game, pitched a shutout.
Both of them strikeout pitchers.
Yes.
You can get away with it.
Well, Green is getting back at some of the Braves after issuing those walks. He's got 5 strikeouts as well.
To left field and deep, but I think it's going to stay in for Incaviglia. The big left fielder's under it, and once again, Tommy Green has pitched out of a mini jam. He walks Nixon, but gets Blauser on the fly to the left. No runs, no hits, 1 left for the Braves. We're halfway home. It's the Phillies leading it 3-0.
Sunday night.
Isn't it true that murder was going to be the solution to all your problems?
Street, I'm afraid you're going to have to come with us.
Perry Mason primetime movie mysteries are back on TBS. Della is charged with murder.
For the first time, I know what it's like to be the accused.
And Perry has his work cut out for him.
We do not have one concrete bit of evidence on Della's behalf.
Watch Perry Mason primetime movie mysteries Sunday night, 7 Eastern on TBS.
Hours a day across Europe, Asia, and America. 70,000 of the best people on the ground are working to bring you the best service in the sky.
We love to fly and it shows.
In my career, I've had a lot of good things happen to me. Of course, there were a few headaches, but that's when I'd reach for a Goody's headache powder. And I'm not alone. In a recent survey, doctors preferred the Goody's formula too, by more than 3 to 1 over BC's. And only Goody's beats a headache the way I prefer, in record-breaking time.
All right. Make it Goody's. Make it fast.
We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey with you now. There's the story of the game. Tommy Green has been skating on thin ice, but he's gotten through it, Joe.
Somehow, some way, Skip. You know, he's up to 90 pitches on the night, but the only offense the Braves can muster are thanks to him because of the free passes. They've got to start cranking it up a little bit offensively if they're going to get back into this one.
And Kevin Stocker, the shortstop, leads off the bottom half of the 5th inning. He walked his first time. And he takes a breaking ball high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Big Braves fan Gary Rice from El Paso, Texas, here seeing his first major league game tonight. Good to have him with us. Lined into right field. That's a hit. Either the pitching in AAA and the International League this year is phenomenal or something, because Stocker is hitting about 100 points better in the major leagues than he did in the minors.
He certainly looks comfortable up there, no doubt about that. Sometimes when a guy comes up, you think, well, maybe if we dust him off a little bit, it'll shake him up. Well, he's been hit 7 times by pitches since he came up, and that hasn't bothered him either.
Tommy Green singled home 2 his first time. You'd figure him to be bunting here. And he is, but he takes it high. 1 ball, no strikes.
That may be a break.
He can swing the bat, no doubt about it. He hit about a 420-foot home run off Steve Avery here last year, I recall. He has a couple of them this year. Larry Boa runs through the signs. The top of the order follows Green. It's already 3-0 Philadelphia. Giants play in about an hour and 15-20 minutes. I don't envy Steve Physiak and the gang out there tonight. Scott Sanders against Scott Sanderson.
That is a test.
He's bunting, and he's taking a strike at split the heart of the plate. A ball and a strike. The stretch. That was a weak effort. He looks like his heart isn't in this sacrificing stuff. 1 and 2.
He's not looking for any sign except the takeoff. Just give me the hit sign.
A ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first. There's nobody up. He's out of there. There's a strikeout. Green upset that he failed to sacrifice and that he had to try. Strikeout number 3 for Glavine. And the first out of the 5th inning is Len Dykstra for 2.
Braves are hoping maybe Green will take that with him to the mound because they can't seem to muster much else off of him.
He's got a no-hitter through 5. You can see John Kruk saying, forget about that now. Just keep pitching. Dykstra has struck out and hit into a fielder's choice. One on, 1 out. Upstairs, 1-0.
This ball club very close-knit in the clubhouse, much like the Braves team in the clubhouse. Maybe a little different style in their house than in the Braves, but they have a very strong. I guess if you want to use that old cliche, the work ethic, they are very much a blue-collar type team.
Stocker scampers back to first. He has tried 5 steals this year and made it every time, so it's a good idea to keep him close. Dykstra waits to first. Runner back. We will not televise again until Sunday afternoon. CBS and the Braves radio network tomorrow. It's a 3 o'clock game or thereabouts. Into the dirt. Berryhill, a fine play to save a base there.
That would have worked just as well as a bunt, except for Berryhill's good glove work. He didn't have time to shift out and get his body in front of it. He had to scoop it up like a first baseman. Nice play.
The Phillies tonight go over the 3 million mark in home attendance. Dykstra has Glavine crippled here, 2-0. They popped him up into center field. Who wants it? Blauser out. Nixon in. They let it fall between them. Either man could have made the play. Neither did. And the Atlanta defense, good all year long, has been abhorrent tonight.
Mistakes cost him in the second inning defensively. And here, this is the first time a ball has dropped between the infield and outfield that I can remember since the very beginning of the season. It looked like Otis never called for the ball, was going to pull up and give Jeff a chance, and Jeff pulled off of it when he was perhaps, in his estimation, not going to be able to run it down either. Certainly in this crowd too. This is a very loud stadium when you're in the middle of the field, and with 60,000 or so here, it can get extremely difficult to communicate.
Mariano Duncan, the batter. Glavine will try to pitch around the mistake. It goes, of course, as a hit. A little chopper to third. Pendleton in. Good play. Throws him out. But they're at second and third with 2 down. If he doesn't scoop that ball on the short hop, that goes for a hit.
This is the only chance he had, was to come in and take the short hop. Nice play. Now what do you do with Kruk?
I think you pitch to him with Hollins next.
I say you take your chances too. The Braves had him play defensively about as good as you can play a guy. He likes to hit the ball to the opposite field, and he hit the ball far and deep his first time up, but right to Otis.
He hit the ball sharply his second time up to Mark Lemke. He's got the whole right field line to work with, as you see in the Braves defense. Lemke in short right field. Kruk waits. Outside, 1 ball, no strike. If John Kruk were of a mind, anything he bunted down the first base line would be a hit. But I doubt that that's on his mind. Look how deep they're playing it. Anything he bunted down the third base line would probably go for a hit too. But he's thinking about swinging.
He's very aggressive, but he's also very good in this situation. 2 out runners in scoring position. Getting close to 350. That's outstanding.
Stocker at third, Dykstra at second, 2 out. Threw it right by him with a fastball. It's 1-2.
You might think, the way Glavine has handled the top third of the order tonight, that the Phillies might have a little trouble anyway handling left-handed starters, but they're 29-16 this season against lefties.
Tommy's got him where he wants him now. 1-2. Let's see if he can shut him down. Another good play by Berryhill. The curveball bounced up there, low and away. 2-2. That was really a wasted pitch by Glavine. He wanted to make that a little better than that, hopeful that Kruk would swing.
Yeah, he wanted to start that right at the middle of the plate and break it away.
The 2-2 pitch. Swung, ground ball to the mound. Good play by Glavine. He saved 2 runs there. I think that baby's through if it gets by the mound. But Tommy speared it and threw him out, and he gets out of trouble. Not all of his own making in the 5th. 2 hits. No runs, no errors, 2 left at the end of 5. Phillies lead it 3-0.
Only a Pep Boys Automotive Supercenter could offer so much. Thousands of brand name parts and accessories in stock 7 days a week. Car or truck, import or domestic, Pep Boys will make sure you get the part you need when you need it. Pep Boys. Look for our value pack catalog in your newspaper, mailbox, or at the store.
Getting some new stuff for the place? Why not get a Ford Citibank card first? Then 5% of the curtains, 5% of the sofa, 5% of every purchase you make goes towards a new Ford or Lincoln or Mercury. Now, what other card in your wallet is worth that much? Now you can get something that really hauls, or something that really hauls with the Ford Citibank card. Now this is a better idea.
I'm Walt Garrison. No matter where or how you spend your time, you depend on your equipment. I count on my old-timer knife by Schrade for the really tough jobs. Handcrafted here in the USA, Old-Timer, Uncle Henry, and Schrade knives all have one thing in common: Schrade's lifetime warranty. So whether it's a simple chore or something that requires just a little bit more attention, be sure it's a Schrade. Schrade cutlery, built to last a lifetime.
Maybe Sid Bream's parents can bring the Braves a little luck as we go to the top half of the 6th inning, and we'll also bring you an update on some scores around baseball. They're not yet underway in San Francisco, but St. Louis has taken a lead in the 5th inning over the Marlins. Chicago got 5 in the 1st. Montreal now leading the Mets 2-0 and keeping an eye on this ball game. No score at Colorado, Houston, and LA later. In the American League, Cleveland leading Milwaukee, but the big game over there right now, Toronto is now taking a 4-1 lead over the Yankees. Ricky Henderson hit a leadoff homer in the 1st inning. Detroit over Baltimore. Minnesota leading the Red Sox, and the White Sox tonight are hosting Texas, and they have a 4-0 lead after 2.
Ron Gant comes up empty on the first pitch, and that's been the story of his night.
They're underway at Kansas City, and they had some rain there, and that rain's supposed to get here in a couple of days.
Lined into right field, but Chamberlain is there, and he's got it. 1 down. So Tommy Green, who pitched a no-hitter against Montreal in '91, still has one going in the 6th inning here tonight. And Fred McGriff is the batter.
He has walked 5 tonight.
This is one who got away. Just think if he was on our pitching staff. But if he was, maybe Greg Maddux wouldn't be, so who knows. He's had a fine year. He's bounced back from shoulder problems a year ago. 1 ball, no strikes.
He has really given them what they needed with Terry Mulholland on the shelf with some arm troubles. And Green himself on the DL earlier this year. He came back strong after the All-Star break.
Speaking of no-hitters, Chris Nabholz of Montreal has one through 6 innings. But it's against the Mets.
Well, I wonder if they've got him on a pitch count. That's what happened to him when he went to AAA.
The pitch, fastball outside. Somehow I doubt it.
He had a no-hitter going in 8 innings, through 8 innings, when he got sent back to AAA, and they took Nabholz out of the game because he was on a pitch count.
The 3-0 to McGriff with 1 out, nobody on. They walked him. There's his 6th of the night. Somewhere along the line, you figure these walks are going to hurt him. It hasn't happened yet. Here's David Justice, who has walked both times up there.
Has to happen now because this is the first time he's issued a free pass with 1 out.
Justice has walked twice. Johnny Padres, Jim Fregosi look on. John Vukovic in the Phillies dugout.
what has struck me during these free passes, especially when he issued a couple with 2 outs back in the 4th inning. Johnny Padres never made a trip to the mound, just let Green work through it.
Ground ball headed for right field. There's the first hit. McGriff stops at second, and the tying run comes to the plate. Well, that takes care of the no-hitter. And Terry Pendleton is the batter. Duncan didn't miss getting to that ball by much.
That's the same type of ball that McGriff hit in the 1st inning that he stole away from Fred, but with a runner at first base, he's got to play closer to second for the opportunity for a double play, and that's why he couldn't get that one with the dive.
So Terry Pendleton bats with a runner at second, another at first, and 1 out. He is grounded out and walked. Pendleton hit that dramatic 3-run homer in Montreal to turn things around on Tuesday night, and he hits one hard here, but out there, the inning is over. Duncan got to that one okay, and he turned it over. 4-6-3 and out. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Still Phillies 3, Braves nothing.
Credit line has nothing to do with your value as a person, okay? Sure, Gold MasterCard has a credit line of at least $5,000, but that doesn't make you a better person. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, if knowing that no gold card is more accepted on the planet lets you relax and just have fun, then yeah, I suppose it could have some effect. And you can use your Gold MasterCard at cash machines all over the world, so you can get money in drachmas or lire or seashells, so you can tip generously, which any waiter will tell you is the true measure of how good a person you are. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a gold card. It's smart money.
In a single battle, more Americans were killed or wounded than died in all the years of Vietnam. Gettysburg. Bruce Williamson calls it awesome, jaw-dropping, a major event. 4 stars, a towering achievement. Tom Berenger, Jeff Daniels, Martin Sheen, Sam Elliott. Gettysburg, based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Killer Angels, rated PG. Starts Friday, October 8th at a theater near you.
Hey, let me show you something. Here at Russell Athletic, they test everything, from these sweats to their pro uniforms. They test the strength of the fabric to find out just what it can take. They even test to see how durable their knits are. Their seams are double-stitched, but they still check to see just how much they can stand. You might think these guys go a little overboard testing their clothes, until you consider who wears them.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
You've heard the old expression, phantom double play. Watch Stocker never touch the bag at second, even with that slide as he went across the right field side of second. Watch the foot. Never touches the base, but they get the out call.
That's one of those rules that isn't in the book, but to avoid injury, nobody even argues about that anymore. No. They just let that go if you're in the area. Dave Hollins leads off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Takes a strike on the corner, 0-1. Hollins singled to start the 3-run 2nd inning. If you joined us late, he singled. Dalton walked. Incaviglia hit into a force play that might have been a double play. Chamberlain got an infield single that might have been a double play. Stocker walked, and Green blooped a single and 2-run score. High pop foul that will reach the seats behind the Atlanta dugout. And a fine catch by a spectator who is going absolutely wacko. He caught the ball, held on to the baby, scared the baby to death.
But he's got the baseball, and that appears to be his concern.
He may have ruined that kid's chances of enjoying baseball for his whole life. The 0-2 into the dirt. A ball and 2 strikes.
Think about it. It was a pretty good play, one-handed.
It was. Well, I'm glad he didn't try to make it a 2-handed play. 1-2 the count. The pitch. Swung, ground ball to Lemke. That'll be easy. Hollins is retired, 1 down. Darren Dalton will be the batter. Dalton so far tonight has walked twice. That gives him 111 walks this year. Len Dykstra leads the league with 123. John Kruk has chipped in with 107. And Hollins, who is on the disabled list for 15 days, has walked 82 times. They lead the league in that department by 75 walks coming into the night's play. Strike on the corner from Tommy. Glavine hasn't pitched that badly at all. Had his defense been as good as it normally is, he might have slipped through that second inning without allowing a run. It's even now, 1-1.
One area that hasn't caused the Braves any trouble most of the year has been defense, but they couldn't turn 2 potential double play balls in the second inning, and that's why the Phillies got 3.
On the corner, 1-2. Don't forget, tomorrow's game will not be televised on our station. It will be on CBS at 3 o'clock and on the Braves' far-flung radio network. You see the Expos doing their part to keep pace. We told you about Chris Nabholz in that game. That should be easy. McGriff has it. Glavine covers, 2 out. And if you're a young first baseman, you'll see that McGriff got him that ball right away, so he would have time to concentrate first on catching the ball and still have time to find the base. 2 down. And Pete Incaviglia, the batter.
A lot of talk about Dusty Baker being a Manager of the Year candidate along with Bobby Cox. You rarely hear Jim Fergosi's name mentioned, yet this Phillies ball club was last in the Eastern Division last year. They lost 92 ball games. They added some veteran depth like Pete Incaviglia, Jim Eisenreich, Larry Anderson, and a couple of others. But look what the Phillies have done with largely the same people, going from worst to first in their own way.
The fight has broken up back behind the Braves dugout. Several rows behind it. But the game goes on. Oh, 0-2 the count to Pete Incaviglia. I'm sure Pete and Don told you he's had great luck against the Braves coming into the game this year. 364, 3 homers, and 12 ribbies against Atlanta in the first 9 contests. And there's the change down and away, and Incaviglia looks bad as he strikes out, and Glavine breezes through the inning. 1-2-3. That's his 4th strikeout at the end of 6. It's 3-0 Philly.
Why is it always the same old story? Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. When it comes to a great beer, we wrote the book.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Better try something else. Mine really works.
You'd better try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors recommend it more than all leading brands. Selsun Blue. Doctor recommended #1.
It's never fun to eat and run, rush and eat too fast, 'cause you know it's gonna catch up with you at last.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing's faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
This is a Goodyear AquaTread, and this is a gallon of water. AquaTread's deep groove design channels water away. At highway speeds, it moves a gallon of water every second for outstanding wet traction. AquaTread, only from Goodyear.
When it's this hot, don't take chances. Only Armor All Protectant guarantees your new car's dash from cracking. There is a fountain of youth, and we guarantee it. Armor All.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, to remind you friends know when to say when.
After 6 innings, there's your score. This Sunday on TNT, Week 4 of the NFL comes your way at 7:30 with the Silver Bullet Stadium show. Phil Simms is this week's special guest. Then at 8 o'clock, the New England Patriots take on the New York Jets at the Meadowlands. The NFL on TNT this Sunday. Game time 8 o'clock.
Damon Berryhill leads off the Atlanta 7th, and the pitch is high and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. And the 7th inning is underway. Cardinals lead the Marlins 5-1. They're now in the bottom of the 5th. It's even now, a ball and a strike. Damon has popped to short, fly to center. Phillies coming into the night's play had scored 840 runs, 78 more than the second place team, and that's the Giants, over 100 more than the Braves. Strike called outside corner. It's 1-2. Mark Wohler's up and throwing in the Atlanta bullpen now. Players were talking before the game. This is the worst bullpen in baseball. It's built on a little wooden platform down there. It's very difficult to really get heated up correctly here. Other than that, of all the artificial turf ballparks, this may be the best.
Yeah, this is a good place to hit too. I mean, the turf always helps a hitter, I think, but good background, good lights.
And good food in the press room. Ken Nolan reminds us about that. Why am I not surprised? The 1-2 pitch. Grounded foul past first. And the count stays the same. Nobody on, nobody out. The wind and the pitch. Foul back again. Baseball is important. This game is important. You see Steve Bedrosian there. He got a lot more important news today than anything going on in this game. His son Cody's 2 siblings both are, well, what's positive for a bone marrow transplant for Cody.
That's great.
Oh, he was just ecstatic. So it's now 6 weeks of chemotherapy and then off to the Mayo Clinic. And I think that is the next step. As Steve put it today when we talked, a big first step, and we're very happy for he and Tammy and the kids. High fly ball, pretty well hit, but playable in center. Dykstra motors out there. One away. Barry Hill is retired, and Tommy Green continues to roll merrily along here. Or mow rarely along, if you prefer.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Phillies have mustered 10 shutouts this year for their staff, and they have not been shut out as a team even once.
Mark Lemke has twice flied in Cavilla in short left. Sid Brame has grabbed a bat. He would pinch hit next. There's one out here in the 7th. Phillies second in the league in hitting at .275, 6th in pitching, 3.90. Slider in there. It's 0-2.
Last year they were last in pitching, so that's one area where they have really improved.
There's only been 1 inning in this game in which Tommy Green has not walked a man. That was the 3rd. He got him 1-2-3. That's a little bit high, and it's a ball, and make it 2 balls and a strike. White Sox beating Texas 4-0 there in the 5th. If that stays that way, that's over. 2-2 the count. It's getting late, and the Braves not doing much against Tommy Green. Goes 1 hit. He's run it full. It's 3-2. So a pitch of decision to Mark Lemke. Not many of these 3-2 pitches have gone Tommy Green's way. Will this be his 7th walk of the night? Yes.
Seems like when he gets in those situations, he really aims a ball. He's trying so hard not to walk a batter that he takes a little off his fastball, tries to guide it in there, and has left several up high.
So Sid Brame hits for Tom Glavine. Tommy went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs. He struck out 4 and he walked 3. And really Could be hooked up in a 0-0 game, but he isn't. Bream stands in there as a pinch hitter. Sid has done extremely well, 10 out of 26, a homer and 8 RBI. Chop to Kruk. Out there, and the inning is over. The 3-6-3. Second double play of the night for Philadelphia. That ball was sharply hit, but right at him. And Kruk handled it very nicely. No hits, no runs, no errors. Nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning with your score. Philadelphia 3 and Atlanta 0.
Hey, let me show you something. Here at Russell Athletic, they test everything from these sweats to their pro uniforms. They test the strength of the fabric to find out just what it can take. They even test to see how durable their knits are. Their seams are double stitched, but they still check to see just how much they can stand. You might think these guys go a little overboard testing their clothes until you consider who wears them.
Russell Athletic. It's everything we make that makes our sweats and tees so great.
It's never fun to eat and run, to rush and eat too fast, 'cause you know it's gonna catch up with you at last.
For acid indigestion or heartburn with headache, nothing's faster than Alka-Seltzer.
Get yourself some Alka-Seltzer and you'll feel better fast.
I'm getting older, so I have to push myself just a little bit harder.
Introducing a new, hard-working Power Stick. Now with more odor fighters per stroke than ever.
Hey, that's better for me and everybody else.
New Power Stick from Fabergé, the most powerful Power Stick ever.
While you weren't looking, something magical happened. The durability of an oil-based enamel and the easy cleanup of a latex came together. Hard to believe? Try it and see. New Duratex Colors enamels from Red Devil for the finish of a lifetime.
When it's this hot, don't take chances. Only Armor All Protectant guarantees your new car's dash from cracking. There is a fountain of youth, and we guarantee it. Armor All.
We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Phillies are bursting our bubble here tonight, at least to this point. Ryan, that's disgusting. Get a life. Wes Chamberlain will lead off the bottom of the 7th, and Mark Wohlers on to pitch for Atlanta. And his job is simple: hold them right where they are and hope that his teammates can rally. But so far, Tommy Green has been tough. You see the numbers on Wohlers for the year. When he has command of his pitches, he is tough.
This is really the best outing Glavine has had against the Phillies this year, and yet he faces a loss. His ERA was over 10 against them in 2 starts this year, but he had never pitched out of the 6th inning. Braves took him off the hook the last time he pitched against Philadelphia on August 4th when Greg Olson and the Braves rallied late, come back and beat him. Big home run by Olson late was the difference.
Wes Chamberlain leads things off. Chamberlain, Stocker, and Green do here against Mark Wohlers. 3-0 Phillies are scored. Giants and Padres start in 45 minutes or so. Fastball inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Unless the Braves rally, their margin on the loss side will be down to 1. Line foul to right. Chamberlain out of the batter's box. He is 1 out of 2. He drove in a run and scored one. It was an infield hit. Fast strike and a good one on the outside corner. Wohlers can bring it up there. A little surprised Eisenreich didn't come out to hit for him.
Yeah, it's a little different look for Wes Chamberlain after seeing a lot of change-ups and breaking balls from a left-handed pitcher. Now having to try and handle the gas from a righty.
Wohlers ready to go to work. Fouled it off his body at home plate. Chamberlain is the guy that wound up a Philly because of a grievous error by the Pirates front office. Wasn't Carmelo Martinez the guy who went the other way in that deal?
Yeah, I think the Phillies helped them save face a little bit by sending them Carmelo Martinez, but they were in a situation where I don't think they were forced to.
Lee Thomas has done a heck of a job here. And they're now over $3 million paid for the year. The breaking ball is outside. It's 2-2. This has been a great baseball time for many years. They got tough fans, but very knowledgeable fans as well. Well hit center field. Back goes Otis. He's got room. On the track, 1 down. A noisy first out. Off the bat of West Chamberlain, here's Kevin Stocker. Stocker will turn around and hit from the left side. He's hitting .312 left-handed.
There's some of the new faces that were added to this ball club. Stocker came up to solidify the shortstop position that had really been a problem area for them. So not only has his offense been important, but also the way he's handled the glove.
And that's what they told him when they came up, is that we don't care how you hit, just go play shortstop for us. And his hitting has been a revelation. He has walked and singled and missed a pitch. It's 0-1. He and Wohlers earlier this year dueled against one another in the International League. Top of the order for Atlanta in the 8th. That's inside, and it evens the count. And a ball and a strike. Boy, a lot of media here. It's like a preview of the playoffs. Fly ball down the line. Gant had him played perfectly. He's got it 2 away. So Wohlers gets the first 2 without trouble, and now Tommy Green will come to the plate. He got perhaps the biggest hit of the night, a little looping single into left field that plated 2 runs in the second. There's a look at the press box here in Philadelphia. It's a big one, and it's packed. Green gets a standing ovation from some of the fans, and deservedly so. He has pitched a classic despite his control problem. And he hits that ball fair into the left field corner. He'll wind up at second and in scoring position with 2 out. And that gives Dykstra a chance to pad the Philly lead.
Told you he could swing the bat, and he turns on a Mark Wohlers fastball that's up and in on him. Broke his bat, but he got around on it and got it past Pendleton.
And look at Joe West hustle down that line because of that weird jutting out. If a fan touches that ball, then it's a ground rule double. But Joe hustling all the way signaled it was still in play. So Dykstra the batter. They may put him on and pitch to Duncan. That's what they're going to do. That will be his 140th walk of the, or check, 124th walk of the year.
Got a guy that's an MVP candidate up there, but you've got another guy on deck who's been mighty tough for the Phillies with 2 outs. He won a ball game for them earlier in the year with a home run off of Lee Smith. And that was in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Have we heard any more about Chris Nabholz's bid for a no-hitter over in Shea Stadium?
I have not.
Last report, it was through 6. Duncan stands in.
.413 average with 2 out and runners in scoring position. That's outstanding.
He faces a tough right-hander here. Sometimes Morandini plays against the right-handers. Duncan 0 for 3 in his career against Mark Wohlers. Green at second with 2 out. And John Kruk waits on deck, but there are 2 out in the inning. At the knees, Duncan didn't think so. 0-1.
Neither did the other umpires in the stands. They thought it was a little low, but part of that because Berryhill had to chase that one down with his glove a little bit.
You can see the movement on his fastball, but that's the pitch that Green hit for the double. That looked like a better one than the first one. It's 1-1. The outfield plays Duncan slightly around toward right. A lot of room in left center. Anything hit out there and 2 runs might score. The 1-1, low and away. It's 2-1. No activity in the Atlanta bullpen. John Kruk waits on deck. Joe Simpson, Skip Carey with you from Veterans Stadium. Line foul. He hit the daylights out of it. Couldn't get around on the fastball. It's 2-2. Well, that takes care of the question. New York has gotten some hits and some runs.
Duncan's a notorious fastball hitter. Has a little trouble with breaking balls. Let's see if Wohlers tries to come back here with his split finger pitch or with a slider to try to put him away.
The stretch, the pitch. Just missed. He started to go. Another 3-2 count. The runners will go here with 2 out.
Maybe he'll foul off about 17 pitches in a row and Tommy Green will get tired.
We'll see how enthusiastically he runs from second base. The 3-2 pitch. There they go. Popped up. Foul territory. Berryhill has room and the inning is over. So Wohlers gets into some trouble but then pitches his way out of it. 1 hit, no runs. No errors, 2 runners left. We go to the 8th inning. It's getting late and the Braves trail 3-0.
You saw yourself on a Harley, the tyrant of the 2-lane.
And you on stage at Madison Square Garden, the lights, the fans.
Then you met her. Goodbye, Harley.
Hello, Diamond.
Matching towels.
Power tools.
And a house. Now you're remodeling, buying lumber and plywood.
Choosing paneling. Molding.
Doors. Windows. Tile backer. Tile backer? Would you say your interests have evolved?
Georgia Pacific. Whatever you dream for your home, we help you build on your imagination.
That's life. That's life. That's what people say.
Life can be maddening, goofy, or downright fun, but it's never predictable. Aflac helps your family be prepared for the unpredictable. We're the expert in supplemental insurance. Our agents work to help close the gaps in your health insurance. Gaps like deductibles and co-payments. Nobody closes those gaps better than Aflac.
'Cause this old world,
Life supplies the surprises.
keeps going around.
Aflac supplies the peace of mind.
25 years the club's been taking this vacation. Maybe it should have been 24.
Welcome to Dollar. Something in a full size?
As long as there's room for my hog.
For as much room as you need. Rent from Dollar. They're right on the airport, right on the money.
All right, everybody, hands on the wheel at 10 and 2.
Call your travel agent or 1-800-800-4000.
8th inning, in time to take a look at the Delta scoreboard and some updates for you. They're not yet underway at Candlestick, but Florida has come back to tie up the Cardinals after 6 innings. Chicago still leading the Pirates. Montreal clinging to their lead now by 2 in the 7th inning. They're tied at Colorado. Houston's at LA a little later. Darryl Kyle against Pedro Estacio in the American League. Cleveland leading in the 8th. Baltimore trailing Detroit in the 9th. Toronto still leading the Yankees 4-2 in the 7th inning. Minnesota trying to put away Boston. And in the West, Chicago has taken a 4-0 lead over Texas as they got those 4 runs in the first inning, 2 on a home run by George Bell. The other games are underway except for the one at Seattle. That's Steve Carsey against Chris Spazio. For all the scores and highlights tonight, check in with CNN Sports Tonight. Fred Hickman and Nick Charles at 11 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay, Joe, and Jim Eisenreich checks into the game to play right field as we go to the 8th inning, and Otis Nixon leads it off for Atlanta. Otis 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Tommy Green has allowed 1 hit and 7 walks and no runs. He has pitched a very impressive ball game. Phillies got all their runs in the 2nd inning. Low to Otis, 1 ball, no strikes. The Philly fanatic makes his way through the assembled masses here. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. $57,792 paid here tonight. 1-2, the count to Nixon.
Well, that was a good breaking ball.
Sixth sellout of the year for the Phillies, they announced. What do we have? 36? Something like that.
Right.
Phillies now at $3,023,000 for the year. The pitch to Otis got him. He might have chased one low and out of the zone, but he's out of there, 1 away. That's 6 strikeouts for Tommy Green.
And his first one since the 5th inning. Yeah, that was a ball, but Otis couldn't lay off of it. Good arm motion on the off-speed pitch.
Jeff Blauser is the batter. And Green goes to work. Dalton held it there, but Gary Darling said no, and he gets a blast from the Philadelphia dugout and looks over that way. 1 ball, no strikes.
Gary ought to be used to that by now.
I'm sure he is. 1-1. Blauser tonight has struck out, bounced out, and flied to left. The only hit of the game, a ground single into right field by David Justice in the 6th.
Tommy Green has not lost since July 16th.
Ground ball foul. I learned something interesting tonight talking with Dean Taylor, the Braves assistant general manager. I assumed that if there was that playoff game in San Francisco on Monday, it would be a day game, but Dean told me at last report they think it's going to be a night game. They don't know what time yet, but either late afternoon or a night game if there's a playoff, a 1-game playoff.
Right.
Like that. And we would not be allowed to televise that.
Why not?
Because ESPN, I think, has the rights to it as part of their deal.
Okay.
They are paying for the privilege.
I've only seen I only remember in my lifetime a couple of playoffs. One between, of course, the Yankees and Red Sox not so long ago.
Still 2-2 to Blauser.
And I remember one between the Dodgers and the Giants, and the Dodgers and the Expos. And they were all day games.
Rick Monday won that one, didn't he? Home run.
They were all day games.
That was before this contract. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball pretty well hit right field. Back goes Eisenreich on the track. He's got it. 2 down. That's the second one. Blauser has just about gotten out of here. 1 to left, 1 to right.
Not the Dodgers and Expos, Astros and Expos. Monday did beat the Expos in a playoff game, but Expos and Astros haven't.
Ron Gant is the batter. He has struck out twice and lined to right. Green has just simply been too good. It's pretty simplistic, but that's been the story to this point. 1 ball, no strikes. Unless Atlanta rallies, they will be 2 out. 2 up, rather. 1 on the loss side. A little tap out in front of the plate. Dalton boots it. There's a break. That would have been the 3rd out of the inning. That's got to be an error on the catcher. And it is. So the Phillies defense lets him down. And that gives Fred McGriff a chance to make it a 1-run game with 1 swing of the bat.
Couldn't get the handle on it. Had time. It had to slip right off the web of his glove, and then couldn't pick it up barehanded. See him spring up off the ground in frustration.
Wanted to step on it, kill it. McGriff has bounced to second, bounced to short, and walked. A long one here would be just what the doctor ordered, would move it to a one-run game. On the corner, there's that off-speed pitch. He's going to that more and more. 0-1.
He's big and strong, is well into 100 pitches, but seems to be able to get that breaking ball over now, and despite his fatigue.
David West, a left-hander, is up in their bullpen. There's a right-hander up too, Larry Anderson. 0-2 to McGriff.
Doesn't matter if you're 0-2 to Fred or not. You're never quite comfortable pitching to him in a situation like this.
A ball and 2 strikes. Well, Fred's gotten so many big hits. Can he get one more? We're about to find out. Missed outside to the fastball. It's 2-2. Crowd oohs and ahs, but not much doubt about that one. Mariano Duncan is in short right field. Stocker is almost back in the outfield at shortstop. The ball gets to you in a hurry on this stuff. Kruk has to hold the runner on. The 2-2 just missed low. Full count. He had him at his mercy, but he missed with a pitch.
What an at-bat here by McGriff to lay off some pitches that were borderline, including this one. This was very close. Good pitch by Green, but definitely a ball.
Too close to take, but he got away with it. The 3-2 pitch. Gant runs from first. Kruk thus plays behind the runner. There he goes, and 2 are on, and now the tying run comes to the plate, and that's 8 walks for the Philly right-hander. David Justice is 1 for 1 with a couple of walks of his own. Jim Fregosi, this is the kind of game where a manager, when it's over, is absolutely exhausted, and all he did was sit there and watch. Those 8 walks will run you goofy.
He's looking at the lineup card taped to the wall, checking out who's coming up behind Justice and what possibilities exist for his bullpen. He's got a lefty ready and the veteran Larry Anderson.
And the switch hitter is next, so that pretty well negates it unless you were going to make the move right here. And they're not. Well, you know what David's thinking about here. He's the tying run up there. All this started with 2 out, nobody on.
This is very much like his at bat yesterday against Dennis Martinez. He pitched David very carefully and then gave up the bases loaded double. Tonight, David had walked twice before he got the only hit of the ballgame for Atlanta in the 6th inning.
Eisenreich is almost on the warning track in right field to cut off any possible extra base hit. The 0-1. 0-2, same spot. But Green has let 0-2 counts get away all night long, including to McGriff a moment ago.
He'll try to make that same pitch, that good hard sinker. Only this time he might throw it in the dirt. Let's see if Dalton's ready to call it and block it if he does throw it in the dirt.
Pop foul, that's out of play.
Thought they could run the fastball by him instead, and it didn't work.
It's still 0-2. Green rubs up the baseball. This big crowd on its feet in Philadelphia, urging the right-hander on. Should be out of the inning. And they are. No hits, no runs, 1 error, 2 left. Bottom of the 8th, the Phillies still lead it 3-0.
1993 Atlanta Braves Baseball is brought to you by Citgo. Fly with the new Superpower.
Lisa's great, but there's something about Sharon. Sharon's okay, but Lisa, whew, what a knockout.
Why is the grass always greener on the other side?
You lucky dog. Lucky dog.
Why ask why? Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. It's one thing.
Nice.
That's beyond question.
Wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar. From the people who dreamed up the breakfast bar with over 40 items like pancakes, sausage, bacon, fresh fruit, fluffy eggs, and buttermilk biscuits. And Shoney's introduces new sticky buns. Tasty cinnamon rolls sprinkled with nuts and drizzled with caramel syrup. So wake up to Shoney's Better Than Ever Breakfast Bar, where your breakfast dreams come true.
When it's this hot outside, you know how hot it is inside. That's why you need Armor All, the world's leading protectant. No matter how hot it gets or how cold, Armor All helps keep your dash looking new. We're so sure about it, we guarantee it. If your new dash ever cracks, we'll replace it. Guaranteed. There is a fountain of youth, and we guarantee it. Armor All. Don't take chances.
We go to the bottom of the 8th. Mike Stanton on to pitch for Atlanta as the left-hand hitters, Kruk and Dalton, will hit in the inning along with the switch hitter Dave Holland. So Mike completes his warm-up tosses after a great first half. Things have sort of turned around for him.
His last 2 outings have been pretty good ones, though. Up in Montreal, he got into 2 ball games and retired all 6 batters that he faced.
There's the hero of the moment. Mitch Williams is in the bullpen.
And we may see him because Tommy Green has thrown 136 pitches unofficially.
I'll tell you what, I've nothing against Mitch Williams. He's an excellent relief pitcher, but I hope we do. He can't be any better than Green has been tonight.
No.
Kruk stands in there in the pitch. Strike over the inside corner. Kruk can't believe that and tells Gary Darling you will never appear on the David Letterman show, and I'll see to it. The 0-1. Low and outside, a ball and a strike. Knowing Kruk as I do and admiring Letterman as I do, I really wish I could have seen that. That must have been a classic confrontation. A ball and a strike. Line left center, base hit. When Stanton has had trouble, it has primarily been left-hand hitters, and nobody can figure that out. First hit of the night for Kruk, and an insurance runner is aboard. Here's Hollins, a switch hitter. As a right-hand hitter, he's hitting .330.
Hey, you would think with that high leg kick, lefties would have a little trouble picking the ball up from Mike, especially since he always works from the stretch, but that has not been the case this year.
Frank Cabrera in from the Atlanta bullpen. The pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. He may be used in a pinch hitting role when we go to the 9th. Looking ahead to that 9th inning, by the way. Pendleton, Berryhill, and Lemke, the scheduled hitters, and then the pitcher is due. Steve Bedrosian begins to throw in the Atlanta bullpen. Hollins corks it to deep center. Back goes Nixon at the wall. He's got it. And Kruk hustles back to first base. Mike isn't exactly fooling him here, is he? 1 out.
Skip, he didn't put anything on that pitch. It looked like he tried to guide a strike in there and delivered it right down the middle. That's something that Leo Mazzoni has talked about with Mike. Not his stuff, his location. And look where this pitch is. Right down the middle at the belt. And fortunately for Stanton and the Braves, that ball was hit to one of the deepest part of the ballpark, or else it's out of here.
Darren Dalton will be the batter coming into the game. He was hitting just .219 against left-hand pitchers. And Leo Mazzoni is to the mound, and I'm pretty sure this is not going to be a friendly chat.
He has talked about his stuff in the bullpen, working on the side, how good he's throwing the baseball, but that when he takes it to the mound in the game, he's not hitting spots. He's hitting the center of the plate, and that's where he's been getting burned.
Leo's visit, a short one and to the point, as you can see.
And another left-handed hitter up there. Let's see how he fares against him with Bedrosian waiting. Dalton, an excellent low ball hitter.
Took a fast strike. It's 0-1 tonight. Dalton has walked twice and grounded to McGriff. He has to hold the runner on, so there's an awful lot of room on the right side of that infield. If Dalton can pull the ball, the Braves don't think that he can. They have him played around toward left field, as you see. Curve is into the dirt. It's a ball and a strike.
Looks like they're going to force Darren to hit the ball the other way if he's going to put it in play by working him away. If he does try to pull it, he may roll over the top of one and give the Braves an opportunity for a double play.
It's a first, runner standing on the bag, and he almost threw it away. Pete Incaviglia is due next, and that might bring Bedrosian into the game, just looking ahead. There's the story. One more shot at it for Atlanta. He tried to pull the ball and couldn't do it, and he's in the hole 1-2. Runner at first, one down. Ground ball to Lemke. He'll get him there. Safe there. 4-6 fielder's choice. So a runner at first with two out. Incaviglia will be the batter. And let's see if Bobby Cox makes a move here. Kruk comes up limping a little bit. He may have pulled a hamstring. Look at it.
He's had some leg troubles all year long. Remember how badly he was limping in Atlanta the last time we saw them in early August? He went in hard after Blauser. Maybe the bag got a piece of him. And maybe just the slide. Maybe he picked up a strawberry in the process.
He sort of stumbled as he started that slide. Stanton's going to stay in there to pitch to Incaviglia. So Bedrosian now just looks on from the bullpen. Fouling it away. It's 0-1. Incaviglia's come over here and had a sensational year. 87 runs batted in 342 at bats. That is really cooking.
They've missed him lately with some leg problems.
Curve low, evens it up 1-1. Runner at first, two down, 8th inning. Phillies lead at 3-0. Braves have one more shot at them here. The Giants and Padres will start shortly, almost to the backstop. 2 balls and a strike.
Incaviglia has always been a guy that likes to hit off of left-handed pitchers. He challenges them, is on top of the plate for the most part, likes to have them pitch him inside. He's got great power, though, to right center field. Get the ball up and away, and he'll drive it that way.
He had a good cut at that one when he fouled it back. And the count evens at 2-2. Our next telecast will be at 1:30 Sunday afternoon. I think we do televise, don't we?
Yes.
Hard to keep track anymore.
Yes, we get to do that.
The stretch. The 2-2 swung, high pop, right field. Justice, a long run, still coming. He's there, and the inning is over. Incaviglia wishes he hadn't hit it quite as high as he did. David got there in good shape and made the catch. So Stanton gets him out. It was a little scary, but he got him out. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, 1 left. 9th inning. Last chance. Tommy Green pitches on. It's 3-0 Phillies.
TBS is calling all Curlies.
What is it? What do we have to do?
It's simple. Videotape your best Curly impression and send it to TBS Calling All Curlies, 1050 Techwood Drive, Atlanta, 30318. Entries must be received by October 12th. Sorry, we can't return your tape. And kids, get your parents' help. The top Curlies will air on TBS during our Curly Marathon, October 22nd. So get in touch with your inner stooge. Just don't hurt yourself. Yes, TBS is calling all Curlies. Enter today.
Love this place.
Do not adjust your TV set. You are seeing double. 2. That's right. 2 great flame-broiled burgers and 2 small orders of crispy golden fries. All for the unbeatable low price of just $1.99.
Love this place.
Now, only at Burger King, get 3 great-tasting international chicken sandwiches with your favorite toppings. French, American, and Italian style. Try one today and get it your way right away.
I love this place.
It's not just an auto part you have to return. It's those scowls and glares you'll get when you take it back. It's those absurd restocking fees. It's that big fat no you'll get when you try to return an electrical part. Next time, go to Advance Auto Parts. With our no-hassle, no-restrictions return policy, even on electrical parts. Returning a part is no big deal.
Last chance for the Braves. We go to the 9th inning. A couple of changes. Milt Thompson, a former Brave, in left field. Kim Batiste is now the 3rd baseman. Thompson hits 4th. Batiste 6th in their order. And Terry Pendleton leads it off. Mitch Williams is ready if needed in the Philadelphia bullpen. Damon Berryhill moves on deck.
Tommy Green, after his 8th complete game, his 3rd shutout. The Braves have been shut out 8 times this year.
It's only his 29th start of the year, and he throws a strike to start the inning. He has walked 8, but he has lived to tell the story. At least to this point. A little chopper past the mound. Tough play. Bad throw, but he got it. And that's a good play by Kruk. That ball was up and could have easily sailed into the seats, but he reached up and speared it 1 down.
Duncan didn't have much choice either. He knew he didn't have a whole lot of time, and he did the only thing he could, and that was fire it quickly on the run over there. Too bad it didn't get a piece of Green's glove as it went over him. And one thing John Kruk didn't do here, he didn't stretch for it too soon. If he had, he would have been too low to glove it.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping was going to happen, but it didn't. Here's Berryhill and a strike to him. Damon is 0 for 3. A pop out to short and 2 flies to center.
Last time the Braves were shut out, July 29th, and a gem thrown by Pete Harnish in Houston.
Another hard throwing right-hander. Hot shot. There's a start, perhaps. A runner at first with 1 out. The 2nd hit of the night. A solid single by Berryhill. And the batter will be Mark Lemke, and Ryan Klesko moves on deck. And Chipper Jones is going to run for Berryhill at first base. Greg Olson heads down to the Atlanta bullpen to warm up a pitcher, as Cabrera has come in as a potential pinch hitter. There's your line score. The Braves not dead yet. Runner at first, 1 out, 9th inning.
Unofficially 140 pitches for Green.
Downstairs to Lemke, 1-0. Mark 0 for 2 with a walk. He's had plenty of company in that walk department.
They pretty much left him alone tonight. No visits from the dugout, giving him every opportunity to finish this game.
There's a strike outside corner. Braves have hit into a couple of double plays tonight. little low. Another breaking ball. 2-1. As Green came out to start the 9th inning, he was flexing his arm as if it might be stiffening up on him. He may have to get Lemke out to stay in the game. But if they go to Mitch Williams, Cabrera would almost certainly hit for Klesko. Right in there. Greg McMichael begins to throw in the Atlanta bullpen.
Mark Lemke has bounced into 19 double plays this year. In fact, he's bounced into one tonight, so he can add to that. He's now got 20, and that's 4th highest in the league.
Line drive, left field. Thompson has to play it on a hop, and the tying run comes to the plate. These guys don't know how to quit, I'll tell you. Solid single for Lemke. Klesko will be announced, and then we'll see if Jim Fregosi makes a move.
What's nice about what they do, and you see it's got Larry Boa scratching his head. Here comes Fregosi, but just the fact that they give their ball club a chance to win, even as well as Tommy Green has pitched, they have battled back, and they've got an opportunity to tie this ball game up.
He's going to go to Mitch Williams. Some of the crowd boos, but I don't see how they can. He's thrown about 142 pitches. So Tommy Green can't finish it. He pitched a great game. Listen to the hand he got. Mitch Williams, a wild thing out of the bullpen. We'll be back right after this.
Until now, lighted watch dials were really hard to see in the dark. But the Indiglo nightlight from Timex is so dramatically brighter. Nighttime will never be the same.
The Good Son is a frightening portrait of evil, a taut thriller, loaded with tension and suspense.
He's been doing things, terrible things.
Macaulay Culkin plays the bad seed to perfection with a heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat climax. A chilling roller coaster of terror. A great thriller.
Trying to poison you!
With the year's most shocking ending.
If I let you go, you think you could fly?
The Good Son, rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Until now, watches were really hard to read in the dark, which gave us an idea. Introducing the Indiglo Nightlight, only from Timex.
Tough audience here. Mitch Williams has 40 saves, and they boo him when he comes into the game with runners at first and second and one out. He has tied Steve Bedrosian's club record set in '87 with 40 saves. He has converted 13 straight save opportunities. His 99 career saves as a Philly puts him alone in second place on the all-time list, behind Bedrock, who has 103. 48 of his 61 appearances have been save situations, and he's converted 40 of them. And Frank Cabrera will come out to hit for Klesko, who was hitting for the pitcher.
The thing that's always plagued him, though, Skip, has been his control. 41 walks this year in 58 innings. Combine that with the 52 hits he's allowed in 58 innings. That's a lot of base runners. League hitting .241 against him. He has allowed 3 long ones. And as you can see, sometimes plagued by the fact that he falls off the mound and has trouble covering first on anything hit to the right side. And that hurt the Phillies the other day in Montreal when Larry Walker grounded one to the right side. Charlie Williams was the umpire at first base on that occasion. He called Walker safe, and the Expos were able to rally and beat Philadelphia.
Even though everybody else later said that he was, in fact, out.
Yes, by a good margin.
Cabrera has 4 homers. One here would tie it up. There are 2 on and 1 out. 1 ball, no strikes. A walk would be all right. The top of the order is next. The Braves trying to give him a finish in Philly. What a cut, but he came up empty. It's 1-1.
And very late. Frank likes fastballs, but he hasn't had that many at bats lately. Maybe his timing off just a little bit on that first one.
He struggled a little bit with the bat lately. Ball and a strike. He didn't fool anybody with that move. While the fans have headed for home here, more than 57,000 paid at Veterans Stadium. Pop foul. Eisenreich and Kruk give it a look, but it's out of play, and it's 1-2. So Williams ahead of Cabrera. Otis Nixon is next.
A 1-1 pitch, and yet he had Frank reaching for that ball. Normally Frank trying to pull everything, but this ball out away from him, and Frank reaching out across the plate, only able to hit it off the end of the bat.
He's 1 for 3 in his career against Mitch Williams as Cabrera. The 1-2. Here we go. Chased a high outside fastball, stayed alive. It's still 1-2. Cabrera is one of those guys who can look awful on one pitch and hit the next one into the upper deck. Got him with a breaking ball. 2 out. Otis Nixon, the last hope for Atlanta.
Good breaking ball down and in. And Frank over the top of it.
Nixon 1 out of 6 in his career against Mitch Williams. They're on their feet here in Veterans Stadium. Jeff Blauser, who has twice just missed home runs tonight, would be next. You don't expect a long ball from Otis. You just want him to keep the inning alive. 1-0.
Maybe Williams will keep it alive for them.
Otis has walked a couple of times already tonight. Tommy Green 8 1/3, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, 8 walks, no runs yet. There's a strike, 2-1. Williams started with the Rangers, then the Cubs, now the Phillies. Two and two.
It was Chuck Cartier, the third base coach of the Cubs, who once said Mitch Williams pitches like his hair is on fire.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. He got him with a curveball, and the ball game is over. Williams comes in and puts out the fire. He saves his 41st game of the year, and on the loss side, the Braves lead in the West is down to 1. We'll be back with totals and highlights after this.
From Brussels to Budapest, Milan to Munich, Delta gives you more non-stops to more cities in Europe than any other airline in the world. 290 weekly flights, 21 countries. More Europe, more often. Nobody gives you more of Europe than Delta Airlines.
The facts, just the facts. When you buy a Price Pfister, you get far more Fawcett. starting with a fabulous engineering inside, on top of which they add fashion galore. Far more faucet for far less money, which is why nothing, in fact, compares to Price Pfister. The fabulous faucet with the funny name.
The Good Son is a frightening portrait of evil, a taut thriller, loaded with tension and suspense.
He's been doing things, terrible things.
Macaulay Culkin plays the bad seed to perfection with a heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat climax.
Connie!
A chilling roller coaster of terror. A great thriller.
Trying to poison you!
With the year's most shocking ending.
If I let you go, you think you could fly?
The Good Son, rated R. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Final question, ladies. How would you save the planet?
Tax credits for education.
Aggressive environmental legislation. Which planet?
Why do pageants still grade on a curve?
Queen of the entire planet.
Try a less filling beer with a lot more taste. Bud Dry. With a beer this different,
What a surprise.
it's no contest.
One day, it all just started. And for a long time, there was fire. And rocks. And fire. And rocks. Then in 1886, Coca-Cola was invented in Atlanta, Georgia, ushering in the modern period of peace, harmony, tranquility, fire, and rocks.
Credit line has nothing to do with your value as a person, okay? Sure, Gold MasterCard has a credit line of at least $5,000, but that doesn't make you a better person. Well, I don't know. Maybe it does. I mean, if knowing that no Gold card is more accepted on the planet lets you relax and just have fun, then yeah, I suppose it could have some effect. And you can use your Gold MasterCard at cash machines all over the world, so you can get money in drachmas or lire or seashells, so you can tip generously. Which any waiter will tell you is the true measure of how good a person you are. Gold MasterCard. It's more than a gold card. It's smart money.
1993 Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by the one thing that's beyond question. Bud Dry, the less filling beer with a lot more taste. Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. By Delta Airlines, the official airline of the Atlanta Braves. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. By Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide. And by Coca-Cola Classic. Always a big hit. Always Coca-Cola.
Well, tonight the Braves catch Mitch Williams and the Phillies on a high note. Mitch Williams finishes it off with his 14th consecutive save, his 41st of the year on this called third strike on Otis Nixon. Good pitch on the breaking ball to wrap it up for the Phillies and finish up the shutout. Totals in the ballgame: Phillies 3 runs, 7 hits, an error. They left 6 on base. Braves 0-3-0, and they left 10 men on base. Tommy Green, the winner. He's 16-3. Glavine, the loser. His 6th loss of the year. Mitch Williams, record-setting 41st save. Time of the game 2 hours and 50 minutes. 57,792 here at the Vet, and it was quite enjoyable for all who attended. Tommy Green had quite a night. This is another strikeout of Otis Nixon. It came in the 8th inning on a tough sinker. He recorded 6 strikeouts on the night. He also had a base hit, and it was a key hit in the 2nd inning, a 2-run single that blooped out into left field in front of Ron Gant. Ron couldn't come up with it. A couple of runs came across. Tommy Green picks up his 16th win. He picks up RBIs 9 and 10, and he is our Armor All Protectant Player of the Game.
And the same two teams meet here tomorrow. First, to look at the National League East standing. The magic number for the Phillies, as you see, is 4. Montreal did win their game tonight, and the magic number in the Western Division is still 8, as Atlanta has lost. And that loss column, to me, the most important one to look at, because when it all boils down to, when you've played the same amount of games, the one that's lost the less has won, and it's only one game on the loss side, and the Giants and Padres just getting started. Smoltz against Jackson tomorrow. It'll be on Braves Radio. We'll be back at 1:30 on Sunday. Steve Avery against Kurt Schilling. Till we greet you then, we want to remind you that coming up next on TBS, the Saved by the Bell Marathon. That's next on the Superstation. For our entire crew, for Joe Simpson, for Pete Van Weren, for Don Sutton, Skip Carey from Veterans Stadium.